your station.
It's a refreshing lifestyle.
Citi FM 97.3.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Twenty-six minutes after 6, Friday morning, 17th January 2025. 97.3 Citi FM is the dial. Good morning to you. CC Winers in a little while is coming again. And is coming with his reward. Question for you is, where would you be found if he comes today? What will be your reward? What account will you give of your stewardship, of your time while here? Think about it. It's been just a little while. The Natufo Boateng was here just a little while ago. Reverend Mike Nogbonu was here. And now I'm here. In a very little while, we will be gone. Whether our time on earth, whether our tenure at our workplaces, whatever mandate we've been giving, in a little while, there will be a moment of accountability. So finally, brothers, in this little while, what are we to pursue? Whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable. If anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things, do such things. Paul says, I beseech you therefore, as a prisoner of God, live a life worthy of your calling. Because in a little while, my friends, our time will be up and we'll have to account for our days and our stewardship. In a little while, he's gonna be back. Are you ready for him? Oh, we are ready. Come on, we are ready. We anticipate it. In a little while, I'll bring you the news review brought to you by Total Excellium and Piva Beverages. In a little while, you'll be setting off on the road. Pass by our fuel service stations. We have premium fuel with amazing 3-in-1 power. Excellium new formula, the additive and rich fuel. Powerful 3-in-1 action cleans your engine, extends its life, lowers your fuel consumption, reduces CO2 emissions. My goodness, what else do you want? Experience the difference with Total Energy's Excellium new formula. Choose Excellium, choose quality. Now choose Piva as well. Get Pivarized, my friend, for a best of flavor in every sip. Discover the refreshing taste of Piva beverages. We have a variety of flavors: Piva Cola, Piva Orange, Piva Cocktail, Piva Grape, Piva Tangy. Grab yours today. Available at a local store near you. Call us 0550-032-231. Piva Beverages is a taste you will love. Proudly sponsoring the newspaper review.
Citi Breakfast Show. The city's biggest conversation.
My body, when you wake up in the morning and you know the money calling. Oh, you go work. But you know it's I on your side. If I believe with us, if I hold my hand and believe, oh, cause you know it's I on your side. And when you dream, no say I did for you. And when you hustle every day, when you wanna go, anything you do, I did for you. If I believe I did your side, fidelity. If I believe with us, fidelity. If I know I did your side, fidelity.
Looking for a burst of flavor in every sip? Discover the refreshing taste of Piva beverages. Enjoy the classic Piva Cola flavor, perfect fit anytime. How about a fruity adventure? Try our delightful Piva orange fruit drink packed with recognized citrus flavor. Craving something exotic? Our Piva cocktail fruit drink brings the tropics to you. For a sweet and juicy treat, grab our grapefruit drink and don't miss out on the refreshing Piva Tangerine fruit drink, bursting with tangerine flavor. Piva Cola, Piva Orange, Piva Cocktail, Piva Grape, Piva Tangy. Grab yours today. Available now at your local store. Call us on 055-00-322-31. Piva, a taste you love. This advert is FDA approved.
P for Piva.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Google me. At what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I don't change my car. It be the same right. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium premium fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Cause now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind, Seth, be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium, they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open there.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, Then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small.
The go.
Joe Anna, Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
925 Music.
Yeko nyamifie Besini yenko Na hanye debi mwate Dumso Oshu bebrebe Akika magana nye debi mwate Waulada Lada 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 Waulada Lada Lada Waulada Miko nyamifie Wizi meko Besini yenko Paolada, lada, 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 paolada, lada, lada, lada. Pawa kidye, besuma famidye. Wizi yenko na hanye debie mwate. Jai insanum, jai mape. Abobo, audye bebrebe.
No, this is the sound.
Paolada.
Yakonya mivie.
Lada.
Wafa ulada no.
Lada.
Thank you. Thank you.
If there's anything like a Ghanaian sound,
yes. Very important.
Pili.
Thank you.
That's the whole song.
No, we are going to the Heritage Caravan. We are on the caravan. We are going around the country. What they are saying? Come on. Lada. Lada. Good morning, Mr. Blair. Not too forwarding.
That's the code. I remember Bobokala.
Yes.
Bobokala
just clock.
Yes, on dance.
It looked like that dance. They all did it. Okala did it. Someone there also did it.
Everyone did it. Oh my word, Charlie.
Look at the point. Waterproof also did it.
Just, we have some great guys.
Yeah.
So where
Adjust is still around.
Where are those comedians?
Yeah, with the pimpinis.
Yeah, and his jacket, his leather jacket.
Gentlemen, you know, where are the comedians of old? Those who could just fool. Where are they? These days, I say comedy has become.
No, it's commercial.
Like
diplomatic comedy.
Yeah, man.
Those days, they were basically just fooling.
You can look at the person's face and start laughing.
But these days, Charlie,
it's a new generation.
With some tapoli as both tied.
Charlie, what is going on here?
It's true. These days, Charlie, they are sophisticated AI generated
comedians.
You have to think to laugh.
Yeah.
Charlie, those days when Okala does is
free.
Charlie, no.
He will laugh, sir.
We want those people back.
Now, have you heard what is going on, Bernard?
There are a lot of things
going
on.
The number of people who rush to the Citi, FM front desk channel 1 to pay for the Heritage Caravan. If by today you have not finished, I'm sure you don't have a spot on the caravan.
Today we'll get an update. We'll do the update.
My fear is that by 5 p.m. today, you see the artwork sold out.
So that's really the reality.
Everyone will come here in some nice blazer and go and
telling you that.
Can't we do virtual caravan? So they'll join us.
virtually.
These days, the children, they are doing something called VR. Do you know VR?
Yeah.
You can play table tennis virtually.
Yeah.
You can go into a forest.
But the thing is, when they are eating the thing in the community, you can't experience it virtually.
That's the problem.
That's a gourmet.
You understand?
Anyway, so we have
newspapers right here, Bernard.
Yes, sir, we do. Let's start off with the Daily Graphic. They are leading with a Greek, and the big story here says, use a Greek to reset economy. Professor Bokpin advocates at Graphic Business X Spaces Forum. 12 more ministers nominated. Over reliance on imported raw materials crippling production. This is the AGI speaking.
The Ghanaian Times leads with expand coverage to meet growing demands. ANYC to telcos. Also, President nominates 12 more ministers. That's on page 12. Very interesting. Ghanaian entrepreneur woos investors from the diaspora. And Ghana Mali strengthen ties. Meanwhile, on page 3, police arrest 3 people in connection with alleged smuggling of cocoa beans.
I take you to the Herald newspaper. Massive financial loss scandal rocks gold for oil program. Sacked MIF CEO. Bust BOG face scrutiny. Mahama and others in Dubai to address crisis. Dubik Mahama shows Ghanaians his middle finger. Hiding behind John Jinapo and Dominic Ayeni for immunity over ECG board. Randy Abbey to GNPC. Bennett accountor for Cocoa Board. Baumia donates cash and 250 packets of roofing sheets to Kantamanto fire victims. ECG audit report reveals 490 million Ghana cedis missing cash.
The Chronicle lives with Mahama. They are using a timing of like the number of ministers, the 60. So Mahama appoints 25 ministers, 35 more to go. So this one, they are monkey.
And 4 more days to the 14-day deadline.
Even if he does 61, they'll not agree. So 25 done, 35 more to go. Meanwhile, there's a very troubling one here. Armed robbers terrorized Oyebi estate down. Residents call for police protection. We don't pay workers for no work done. NAELP is speaking. Meanwhile, Sami Oku says MPP won't be a rubber stamp in opposition.
Okay. Daily analyst heavy with the nominations. This one says ministerial nominees. Mahama releases third list. Haruna Idrisu gets education. Agboja gets roads and highways. Eric Opoku gets agric. Mohammed Abdul Salam appointed acting NLA boss. Sami Jemfi appointed acting MD of PMMC, tasked with establishing Ghana Gold Board. Oko Vanderpoy, hopeful Mahama will perform. Oral on validation mission, Domelevo clarifies. Opare Ado, grateful to Mahama over appointment.
A lot of headlines on the story on the front page. Now, the news center also does same. They have about 6 headlines. 200,000 CD, 250 packets of roofing sheets. This is from Baumia to Kantamanto. Market fire victims. In other stories, 12 new ministerial nominees released. Meanwhile, PFJ 1D1F reforms key to reducing inflation and import substitution, according to an economist. Then there's Zenith Bank Ghana claims Bank of the Year honor at the Bankers Awards. The CEO is photographed here. Meanwhile, Mahama Opoku Agyemang hold crucial meeting with IMF. That's on page 6. And the Republic Bank PLC appoints Venus Francis Frith as COO.
Wow.
So many stories this morning.
Inquisitor says time for accountability. Ken, others under OSP scrutiny for corruption and corruption related offenses. Comes with the pictures of a number of them. We've received over 700 petitions. That's oral. Hoodlums torch Intertech iconic property at Chado. Cocobot trial. Test report being used to prosecute Oponi Agongo has no scientific grounds. This attributed to a witness. And Samia Uku supports scrapping of betting tax.
The Ghanaian publisher has a very interesting one. Ministerial nominee caught in international fraud. Bright Simmons reveals. This was by a Twitter post. No name is mentioned, but it says the government for Degard. It's on page 2. Meanwhile, Mahama sweats for 25 ministers in 9 days, 35 more. So a publisher is also giving close marking. 35 more to go. Meanwhile, don't honor oral invitations. Minority to Akufo-Addo's appointees. That's on page 2. And then NAELP refutes misconduct allegations. Same page with that.
BNFT fuel 13 key food items drive inflation over 7 years. Real estate construction drive economic and job growth. And in tech, it says African tech needs local values to thrive. This is a tech entrepreneur speaking. In agric, over 2.7 million fertilizer bags distributed under PFJ. And in banking, GCB Bank supports attainment of 5 P's of sustainable development.
Okay, I take you online quickly. Channel1news.com for starters. Agbogloshi scrap dealers, onion sellers reclaim site 4 years after demolition. You should see the images, structures on refuse sites and all. My goodness. Mahama escalating terrorism in Sahel requires escalating terrorism in Sahel requires collective action. I beg.
Read that thing well, my brother.
Mahama escalating terrorism in Sahel requires collective action.
Thank you
very much. Now Mahama appoints Sami Jemfi to head PMMC. Construction Chamber urges Agboja to prioritize private sector engagement, and then also Kantamanto Baumia donates roofing sheets to support market reconstruction. Haruna Idrisu is capable of handling education ministry. That's Nagrat coming in strong. CityNewsroom.com. Stop running away and sign anti-gay bill. This is Ahiagba. to Mahama. Ignoring 21-day period to vet Mahama's nominees in decent, Osewusu is speaking. Akufo-Addo is responsible for 60% of NPP's defeat. This is a political analyst. And EduWatch is asking Haruna Idrisu to influence 20% public budget allocation to education ministry. If you go to myjoyonline.com, Joseph Osewusu is criticizing his successor for raising his voice and showing machoism. Again, lack of public engagement and missed opportunity in vetting. Joe Wise is still speaking. Do not attack trucks distributing rice, other food items to schools. This is a park warning. Under declaration isn't criminal offense. Former ACG MD responds to audit report. And then if you go to Star FM quickly.
Before that, there's an interesting one on that same website.
Yes, please.
Kofi Amwabeng is quoted. He says, "Did IMF order Rambo-style UT Bank closure?" Because Kofi Amwabeng questions BOG's actions.
True.
Then he also says, "How can I steal from a bank I built?" So expect a lot more of these in the coming days.
Yeah. And Star FM, Mahama has no power to set up oral to investigate people. John Darko, National Cathedral. We should have done better than what Ghanaians see. This is Swame MP speaking. And then also NIA applauds Mahama's decision to uncap health insurance. This came a bit earlier. If you go to BBC, 3 reasons Trump tariffs aren't China's only problem. Big matter coming up. And then CNN, Gaza hostage deal reached. Israel confirms. And as US TikTok users move to red note, some are encountering Chinese-style censorship for the first time. Interesting geopolitical matters.
Let me
details.
let me use the Ghanaian Times for the nominees, because what they've done is a nice photo report of all the new nominees. So as you know, there were 3 initial cabinet nominees, and now there are 9 more. There were 10 regional minister nominees. Now there are 3 more, and all photographs are here. So Eric Opoku, Minister for Food and Agric; George Oparado, Youth Development and New Ministry; Haruna Idrisu for Education; Kwame Agboja for Roads; Jafar Ablagomashi for Tourism; Elizabeth Ofosu-Ejari for Trade; Ibrahim Ahmed for Local Government. Then you have Namo Molate for Gender. Then there's some regional ministers as well photographed here. You have Mr. Edumwa Ekopenyin Ochre for Central, Wilbert Petit Brentum for Western North, and Joseph Nelson for the Western region. Their profiles are also listed here. The only photograph missing here is the MP for Shama and nominee for Fisheries, whose picture is not on the center spread. But basically, what the papers have done, for example, the publisher is basically saying Mahama has chosen 25 in 9 days.
9 days.
And he has 4 days to choose 35. Now this is important because, of course, he said he would appoint his full ministerial list in 14 days. And so we are in the 9th or 10th day. So he has 4 days to release the rest. Number 2, the list includes 16 regional ministers, and of course, the rest will be other ministers. And he's named 25. He will have to name the remaining 11 substantive cabinet and possible deputies. And that all has to happen if the promises will be fulfilled. We don't know if the full list was to be in 14 days or the key ones. But there are also some issues around vetting. So, for example, if you go online, there is discussion about how the vetting committee is going about this work. If you go to Citi Newsroom, George Sewusu is saying that
ignoring 21-day period to vet Mahama's nominees indecent. So the details are as follows: citinewsroom.com. Nia Ikwe Okai writes that Joseph Osewusu, immediate past chairman of Parliament's Appointments Committee, has expressed concerns about the short notice given for the vetting of 3 ministerial nominees by President John Dramani Mahama. Osewusu argued that the notice issued on January 9, 2025, with the vetting taking place just 4 days later on January 13, 2025, was too rushed and hindered public participation in the process. The former member of Parliament for Bekwai and first Deputy Speaker of the 8th Parliament described the decision as a misstep, as it did not provide enough time for stakeholders, including the public, to engage meaningfully in the vetting.
We know that the minority has also been raising concerns over unfair treatment at the vetting. Graphic reports on that. It's on page 19. The Minority Caucus in Parliament has raised concerns over its alleged unfair treatment at the Appointments Committee and mishaps in the process leading to the vetting. The caucus described as unfortunate the insufficient question time time given to members and friends of the committee to examine matters in detail during the vetting of the 3 ministers designate last Monday. But if you stay in Parliament, the graphic is reporting that Ayariga is tipped to be next majority leader.
We actually reported this yesterday.
Exactly. You know that with the ministerial nominations coming up, a lot of the leadership on the majority side are getting positions. And so, story by Nana Kunedu Ajiman says the National Democratic Congress NDC member of Parliament for Boko Central, Mahama Ayariga, has been tipped to be the next majority leader of the NDC caucus in the 9th Parliament. The Daily Graphic can confirm he will succeed the outgoing majority leader, Dr. Kassiel Atuforsen, who has been nominated as the Minister of Finance designate. A source at the presidency who requested not to be named said the NDC party would, by the close of Friday or early next week, come out to announce his appointment. It goes on to give some more. It says other changes. The party will also announce major changes in the general leadership of the NDC caucus. This is because quite a number of the current members of the NDC caucus have or are yet to be nominated for various ministerial positions.
There are 2 other nominations that we need to bring up. Mahama appoints Sami Jemfi as head of PMMC. Then he's also appointed
for the NLA,
Mohammed
right?
Abdul Salam.
Okay, so let me take
acting NLA boss.
Let me give you the Sami Jemfi story from citynewsroom.com. And Abigail Arthur is writing that President John Dramani Mahama has appointed National Communications Officer of the National Democratic Congress NDC, Sami Jemfi, as the acting managing director of the Precious Minerals Marketing Company. This appointment, effective January 16, 2025, taxed Mr. Jemfi with the establishment of the Ghana Gold Board. That's Gold Board, a key promise in the National Democratic Congress NDC 2024 manifesto. So Felix Kwachiofosu, acting spokesperson to the president, announced the appointment, highlighting the administration's commitment to economic revitalization.
What about the NLA?
Mohammed Abdul Salam, appointed acting NLA boss. A story on page 4 of the Daily Analyst. Mohammed Abdul Salam has been named the acting director of the National Lottery Authority NLA, effective January 15, 2025. His appointment comes with the mandate to oversee and manage the operations of the authority. In a statement from the Office of the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama announced the decision, citing constitutional and statutory provisions.
Now, just finally on that, Sami Oku, who is the former or immediate past head of NLA, has said that the betting tax is counterproductive. This is page 9 of Ghanaian Times. So, Sami Oku, former DG of NLA and now MP for Ekwapim North, has expressed enthusiasm over government decision to scrap the betting tax. Ewuku, who has been a vocal critic of the tax even during the tenure of the previous administration, describing it as counterproductive, a measure that has failed to yield positive results in many jurisdictions. So that's good. Now, what I wanted to do was to just give you 3 quick headlines on what people are saying to the nominees. So, for example, peasant farmers are urging Agric Minister designate to reform sector with irrigation systems. So yesterday on Eyewitness News, we interviewed a lot of them. So yesterday, the Peasant Farmers Association, their national president, Wepia Adugwala, he says sustainable food production in Ghana can no longer rely on traditional rain-fed agric, and therefore Erikopoku should focus on irrigation. Then you have proper free SHS implementation must be Haruna's immediate priority. This is the president of Nagrat, Angel Kabanu, outlined pressing issues in the country's education sector that require immediate attention from Education Minister designate Haruna Idrisu, speaking on the same Eyewitness News. Then we have construction chamber. All right, so everybody, sector people are moving. The Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry has outlined expectations for Governor Kwame Agboja, who's supposed to go ahead the Roads and Highways Ministry. The chamber is urging targeted reforms to address critical challenges in the sector again. And then finally, EduWatch says influence 20% public education allocation to Education Ministry. So clearly, the civil society groups and the interested parties are all urging the people to get on board and start working.
Yes, but on education, food items are being distributed to the schools, as we were told. Now, do not attack the trucks distributing rice. This is Clement Park, the official in charge of food distribution in response to the ongoing food shortages in senior high schools, has issued a stern warning against any interference with trucks delivering rice and other supplies. He was speaking in an interview where the Busa South MP stated that that the distribution initiative ordered by President John Mahama is a coordinated effort to ensure food reaches all public secondary schools and TVET institutions across the country. Quote, we are dealing with all the secondary schools, about 900 or more schools, including TVET institutions. We are starting with Greater Accra this evening, and as the days go by, we will extend to all regions and schools.
Now, guys, ECG is in the news, and I have a couple of stories here. ECG audit reveals 490 million CD revenue discrepancy. This is a Pricewaterhouse audit. Now, there's also comments attributed to the former MD, including defending ECG's 800 million CD revenue, because apparently they get 1.3 million, but 800 gets into the cash waterfall mechanism, and the rest goes into other payments, which it says includes running costs. So let me just give you those two, because I think that's also one of the big stories that came up this week. Now, it says an audit of the Electricity Company of Ghana revenue collection has uncovered a 490 million CD discrepancy in reported revenue between October and December 2023. The discrepancy involves both tariff and non-tariff revenue. According to a report shared by the PURC, the variance was identified between the regional bank accounts and ECG's head office account. The audit report stated, quote, between October and December 2023, ECG reported revenue of 3.38 billion cedis. However, based on information from the head office bank account analyzed, the recorded revenue was 3.87. Further investigations revealed that the unaccounted funds resulted from transfer of all funds from district and regional accounts to the 14 head office accounts at the end of each month. So whether the money got lost in transfer, we are not sure. But the analysis was conducted by reviewing and analyzing relevant bank accounts used by ECG for operations. Now, then still in a related development, the former MD of ECG has been speaking on the discussion around privatization. Samadubik Mahama has defended the company's monthly revenue amid concerns raised by Energy Minister Designate John Jinapo regarding revenue leakage within the organization. Now, during the vetting, Mr. Jinapo said even though ECG receives 1.3 billion in the monthly revenue, only 800 and 900 million is allocated to the cash waterfall. But Mr. Dubik Mahama, on the point of view, basically said this was not a leakage, but it was money meant for operational costs like staff salaries, vehicle maintenance, fuel, and other expenses. All right.
There's a disturbing story in the Daily Graphic. I just want to highlight it.
Related to Boko gunmen ambush.
We know that Boko, there's been an attack. On a unidentified gunmen. But this one has to do with a father killing the son.
A father killing the son. We also have one on armed robbers in Oyibi. So when you do that, I'll bring you that as well. So
man butchers 6-year-old son.
For what?
A 35-year-old man has butchered his 6-year-old son at Anchirifo near Domahinkro in the Bunu region. The man was subsequently gunned down by a custom officer when he tried to escape. A police brief said police last Wednesday received information that the man, whose identity was not readily available, had inflicted multiple cutlass wounds on the boy, leading to his death. Police did not indicate the reasons for the man's actions.
This is really troubling. Now, if you go to page 2 of the Chronicle, it says armed robbers terrorize Oyibi Estate down residents. Residents call for police protection. Now, Jennifer Amboli reports that residents of Oyibi Estates down in the Kunkatamanso municipality in Greater Accra are living in fear following a spate of armed robbery cases being recorded in recent times. The Chronicle has gathered that the 3 robbery incidents, all involving 3 men wielding locally manufactured pistols and knives, have left the community on the edge. One of the robberies, the Chronicle was told, occurred at dawn Sunday, November 17, and then other details are given. We are told in the most recent incident, the face mask of one of the robbers allegedly dropped, allowing the victim to identify him. The location of the ghetto has been pinpointed. Information has been reported to the Oyibi police, but no arrests have been made so far. You know, and the suspects appear to have run away. Residents have also reported frequent robberies along Babu Street, where unsuspecting individuals are ambushed and robbed of their money and valuables at knife point from 10 p.m. onwards. Residents spoke to the Chronicle, noted that looking at the situation, they might consider arming themselves so they can properly defend themselves. Ghana Police, please go and help the people of Oyibi.
Absolutely. So just a quick one before we go. Unidentified gunmen ambush military escorted vehicle in Boko, still on crime. So some unidentified gunmen have ambushed and opened fire on a vehicle traveling from Kulungugu to Boko Township. The vehicle with registration number GA445409 was under military escort. However, the presence of the officers did not deter the assailants from engaging in the attack. While no casualties have been confirmed, eyewitnesses say the shooting was intense.
Finally, I'll read it. Just a headline. Agbogloshi scrap dealers and onion sellers reclaim site 4 years after demolition. This is a city exclusive. We are following this on our news. The scrap dealers have come back to the site that was reclaimed in 2021, and it looks like some progress that was made has been reversed.
And there's a renewed conflict in Nkwanta Inoti. We'll bring listeners updates. We are still looking into the matter. We'll bring listeners updates.
Goodness, and there are 3 reasons why Trump's tariffs aren't China's only problem. It's going to be global, we are told. So the number one reason is that tariffs are already hurting Chinese exports. So exports from China will be affected by Donald Trump's tariffs, and then also people are just not spending enough. In China, household wealth is largely invested in the property market. Before the real estate crisis, it accounted for almost a third of China's economy, employing millions of people, from builders and developers to cement producers and interior designers. The third reason on the BBC is that businesses are not flocking to China like they used to. So President Xi has promised to invest in cutting-edge industries that the government calls new productive
Let me just give you a sense of the pressure on appointments. So in the Volta region, 287 names have been submitted for vetting. Now the districts in the region,
30?
I'm not even sure. Volta region doesn't have 30 districts. If you look at the constituencies, they are around 20 something. All right. So so I'm told that the Volta Regional Secretariat of NDC has received 287 applications for MMDC across 18.
It's 18.
So more than 12 per place. So we wish them good luck. Good luck in the vetting.
Lobbying is going on. By the way, are you lobbying to be on the caravan? Yesterday, Omani saw me and said, that you are doing on the show. That was a newspaper review.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
7 on the dot. Don't get scammed. EcoBank is warning. Be extra vigilant. There are scammers and their main aim is to steal your money. They will ask you to divulge sensitive information, your password, your PIN, your card, your card information, CVV, OTP, and other personal details. Some will pose as though they are staff seeking to help you link your account to your Ghana card. Don't mind them. Some will say they want to help you update or upgrade your mobile app. Do not mind them, cry. Don't share your 16-digit or any number on your bank card to anyone, and avoid their calls. If they send you messages, delete them. Don't open those links. If you're in doubt or you feel insecure about it, call their contact center on 0800 003 2225. It's a toll-free number. Now, Good Energy brings you Girl Super XP, ideal choice for most vehicles. Just go fuel up your vehicle and enjoy the smooth ride with all the benefits. Girl Super XP's quality gives you the correct choice when buying regular fuel, fortified with a special additive that gives longevity to your engine, makes your engine perform to the max using minimal fuel, and is suitable for most vehicles. Look out for Guel stations with a Guel Super XP sign and go fuel up your vehicle. Guel Good Energy and idea. Have you heard the latest from MTN? If not, then listen. For those of you who love MTN Free After One, prepare for the upgraded experience that is MTN Free After One Extra. Now, let me tell you what this extra is all about. You can talk for 1 whole hour uninterrupted while paying for only the first minute of every 10 minutes you talk. That's what Nashika does. She can tell you more after the news. You get to talk for 60 minutes straight with no interruptions. You like what you hear? Well, as if that's not enough, you also get 50 MB of data for free after your first call daily. So now it's time to talk extra with all the people you love. To subscribe to MTN Free After One Extra today, just dial *500#, repeat *500# and follow the prompt. It's time for the City Business News. Nashika Caesar is here.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Good morning, now. Good to see you on a Friday morning.
Good morning, Caleb. Hello
Take
and
us
welcome.
away.
Right, hello and welcome to the breakfast edition of the City Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN Goil and EcoBank. Amnashika Caesar. Coming up, consumers of petroleum products can heave a sigh of relief as OMCs assure there is no looming fuel shortage because there's ample supply of the commodity. Also coming up, demand for refined petroleum products in the first half of 2024 shot up by 16%. And later, economic watchers urged the new government to implement strategic measures aimed at stabilizing escalating food prices. Details of our stories now. Checks at several fuel stations in the capital reveal that they have ample supplies of petrol and diesel to serve their customers. This comes amid concerns from sections of the public over a potential fuel shortage following the petrol supply issues reported in the northern part of the country last week. Daniel Odrumensa has more in this report.
Petrol shortage in part of the northern sector last week concerns grew in the regional capital that the situation could extend to the southern sector. This led to fears among consumers about a looming fuel shortage that might affect the region. Several motorists who spoke to CNR Business on the condition of anonymity mentioned that they have had ample fuel supplies with no disruptions for the past 2 weeks. Meanwhile, the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, COMAC, has issued a statement dismissing reports of an imminent fuel shortage in the country, assuring the public that there is no cause for alarm. In its statement, COMAC clarified that any potential risk of a fuel shortage has been effectively managed. The statement also addressed media reports that misinterpreted comments by COMAC's Chief Executive Officer Dr. Rivers Opong suggesting an impending fuel crisis. COMAC explained that Dr. Opong's remarks were intended to inform stakeholders about a temporary reduction in petrol stocks due to operational factors, including the suspension of refining activities at the Sentiu Oil Refinery.
That report was filed by City Business News' Daniel Odrumensa. Now, latest data from the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, reveals that an estimated 2.7 million trillion tons of refined petroleum product were sold in the first half of 2024, marking a 16% increase compared to the same period in 2023. There are more details in the following report by City Business News' Daniel Sakiti.
According to data from the National Petroleum Authority, domestic sales accounted for approximately 92% of total sales, while exports to neighboring countries made up about 8% for the period. In terms of domestic demand for refined petroleum products, a total of 2.5 million metric tons were consumed locally in the first half of 2024, reflecting a 15% increase from the same period in 2023. Except for gas oil used on rigs and kerosene, all other products saw an increase in consumption during the period. Petrol and diesel consumption exceeded 900,000 metric tons each, while LPG, gas oil used in mines, and ATK each exceeded 100,000 metric tons during the review period. During the first half of 2024, diesel and petrol were the most consumed products, each accounting for 37% of total consumption. LPG consumption represented 6%, while kerosene and naphtha were the least consumed products during the review period. Of the 2.5 million metric tons of refined petroleum products consumed in the first half of 2024, the Greater Accra region recorded the highest consumption, primarily due to its higher levels of economic activity. In contrast, the Upper West region consumed the least amount of refined petroleum products during the same period.
Daniel Sakite with that report. Now, economist Professor Patrick Isumin is urging the new government to implement strategic measures to stabilize the mounting prices of food items, which remains a key driver of inflation. The latest data from the Ghana Statistical Service shows that food inflation stands at 27.8% as of December 2024. Professor Patrick Isumin noted that food inflation has consistently been the leading contributor to overall inflation since 2022. Speaking to City Business News, he stressed the need for a comprehensive approach to address the issue.
As a government, the food situation and the rising cost of food should be seen as a topmost priority for the government. Yes, we know there's issues about food, youth unemployment, and there are some security things. But, food prices have been rising for a long time. And, you get a sense that the anger had been bubbling. It's that anger that showed at the polls on December 7th. And I think the issue with the food is that if you don't make the investment at the right time, you miss. Then at the next harvest time, food prices are even going to be much higher. And that's the last thing you want as a new government.
That was economist Professor Patrick Isumin speaking there. Now let's have a quick market check on the currency board. Across some forex bureaus, the dollar could be sold to you at 16 cedis. The British pound could also be sold to you at 19 cedis 20 pesos, and the euro at 16 cedis 30 pesos. Remember that these are the rates being offered by forex bureaus to the public. And that's all for the breakfast edition of the City Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, Goil, and EcoBank. I'm Nashika Caesar. Many thanks for your company. Do have a great business day.
Every day, people have money emergencies. Ma, I need my school fees. Mommy chop money. Cratchy, mommy rent. Emergency. Now, there's a new emergency number in town. More money, challenge and enjoyment. At the Chop Life we got. Dial *770# for money emergencies and Chop Life.
For emergency access to your bank accounts, transfers, utility payments, loans, and more. Dial *770#. Bank on the go even without data with EcoBank's short code for digital banking. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
For over 60 years, Good Energy has served you top quality fuels. Goil brings you Super XP for a smooth ride. It is available in Goil stations nationwide. Goil Super XP is fortified with special additives which help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Goil Super XP is quality fuel, the ideal choice for most vehicles. Energize your ride with Goil Super XP. Who feel ya? Huh? Who be feel? Good energy. Yeah.
The other day, I visited Kweku at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales, customers, everything is just working seamlessly. The secret? He said,
it's MTN Business Broadband. In this fast-paced environment, we need fast and reliable internet to support all business types. No laggy online meetings, great download and upload speeds, impeccable business management systems, all inclusive. I mean, you can have it all.
Shout! I signed on immediately.
To enable your business stay ahead and stay connected, make sure you're signed on to the best internet made just for businesses. MTN Business Broadband. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh and manage your account on my MTN app. Call 0244 308 111 for more information. We are good together everywhere you go.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Because say I tell you, say I care. That be the reason why you want put me for work. Because say I tell you, say I love you. That be the reason why you want put me for work. While I do, you no go laugh me for my face. While I do.
11 after 7, switch to Telecel fixed broadband today and experience incredible bonuses and expiry bundles, data transfers across devices, and lots more. New customers get 50% bonus data in addition to other mind-blowing offers. To subscribe to Telecel fixed broadband for free for these amazing offers, dial *900# or use the Telecel Play app or visit a Telecel retail outlet www.telecel.com.gh. Get connected today. Terms and conditions apply. Telecel, connecting energies. And if you are sending money to the Gambia, Guinea, Liberia, Nigeria, and Sierra Leone, it's never been this easy, convenient, and exciting. Through the Pan-African Payment and Settlement Systems PAPS, you can do this. All you need to do is to visit any of our branches nationwide with your cash, and your money is transferred in no time. To receive money, you will need a First Bank Ghana account. Find out more about this perhaps we're talking about 0549 0596 921 921 is the number to call. Is a toll-free number. Apologies, that's not a toll-free number. 0596 921 921 is the number to call for more. And real estate is a key part of every wealth portfolio. That's why you need to make it a point to own some. This 2025, Apollonia City is offering you an opportunity to own premium plots of land at competitive prices with up to a 3-year payment plan. Our service lands come with access to water and electricity, tarred roads, solar-powered streetlights, access to high-speed internet, and so much more. We also have beautifully crafted 2, 3, and 4-bedroom homes for you to choose from, with the construction of the Adenta Dodowa Highway underway. You're assured that the property you acquire is sure to appreciate exponentially. So call Apollonia City on 0275 577 577 0242 777 222 for more details. So let's jump into the Citi Business Edition for today. We're visiting a powerful conversation. David Kwabena Bolton. Talking technology, entrepreneurship, creativity. His life. And the role Herman Chinwe Hesse played in pioneering technology in Ghana. Within the tech space, of course, David Kwabena Bolton sits with Bernard Avler for this conversation on Citi Business Edition. Enjoy.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show. The city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Please wait. Please wait. Please wait. Don't think I get my new car. Please wait, don't think I found my real size. I'm gonna get me some love, somebody. My girl, sweet girl. My girl, I can see all your doors until I find my real side. I'm gonna get me some love.
And welcome to another edition of the Business Edition here on Citi FM. And I'm very happy to say we're continuing conversations around technology, around entrepreneurship, around creativity, around Pan-Africanism, and around excellence. These are words that describe accurately Herman Chinwe Hesse, who was laid to rest in the first week of November. And we're talking to people who knew him, worked with him, and just to remember his legacy, but through a very different means. So today my guest is David Kwabena Bolton, who's a techpreneur musician who broke through the Ghanaian scene age 17, developing some fantastic software, got a big contract to do some great work for the country, and he's lived up to expectation, still creating, still leading, and he's joined us. David, good to have you. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful. So I don't remember, it was sometime in 1990, it was a front page newspaper, I think it was a Spectator, and there's a computer whiz kid developed something.
Right.
I think you had dreadlocks or longer hair.
I had long hair.
You had long hair.
Michael Jackson was my role model, you see.
This is 19, was it 90 or 91?
This is 1990.
And you were 17?
I was 17, yeah.
So what had you developed?
So by that time I developed medical software. So it's actually software that ran clinics in the UK. So yeah. So it was all based over there.
Age 17.
Yeah, I was actually 16 when I first started that.
Were you in school then, or?
I was in school. I was in high school. Yeah.
In the UK.
In the UK. Yeah.
So but you were in Ghana too. Were you sort of living in Ghana and the UK?
No, at that point, My mother's Ghanaian,
Yes.
and my father was Scottish.
Okay.
So I was born in London.
Okay.
And grew up there. So I'd been to Ghana, I think, when I was 2 years, and then when I was 4 years.
Okay.
And then after that...
All the way there.
Yeah, yeah.
So when you came on the front page in 1990, you had come to Ghana all a couple of times.
No, well, a couple of times, yeah, but I couldn't even remember.
Oh,
I couldn't
wow.
even remember those trips, yeah.
What
yeah.
was it that you invented that got you that front page?
Well, it was one of a number of products. I actually started business when I was 12 years old.
No kidding.
In the UK, yeah. So I was in secondary school, and I started developing software.
Wow.
So instead of developing games, I was doing business applications. So things like inventory control, accounting systems, payroll, those sorts of things. And obviously it was quite unusual. This was before the internet days, so it's quite unusual. So I got a lot of publicity, and then my family doctor, Dr. Smith, may his soul rest in peace. He was so supportive, because my father was not well-to-do. I mean, he was a jack of all trades, if you like. He was extremely intelligent, extremely smart, but misdirected. so we were basically living on the breadline.
Wow.
So, but one thing my father did was instilled so much discipline in me, so that, for instance, when I would get home from school, and he would make sure I finished my homework, then he would give me extra homework.
Wow.
So I remember I used to hate him those days, because
God.
my friends would come knocking on the door.
They want to go play.
Go and play. And he said,
you're doing extra work.
I have to do extra work. But it paid off, because it gave me that sense of discipline. And I guess because also I was kind of an outcast in the UK. This was in the
mid to late
70s, early 80s.
Early 80s,
and racism was still a very big thing. And because my father was white, we were living in a white area.
Oh God! And
so I remember at primary school, I was the only black kid.
Gosh.
Secondary school, it wasn't until year 3 that another Nigerian boy came to join the school. The whole secondary school,
The whole school?
Yeah. And it was one of these, it was a grammar school which was founded in 1615. So you can imagine the sorts of people, I just got in because I happened to do well in the exams, and then I got a scholarship there.
Wow.
But, but then that even made things more difficult, because, I didn't really fit in. It was just through my brain power that I got in there.
Why computing though? Because yes, computers existed from the 70s, but as you rightly said, internet was probably early 90s.
Early 90s,
So,
yeah,
but
yeah.
you were doing software and stuff in the early 80s, mid 80s. How did that even occur to you?
It's a good question. That's something I ask myself all the time. But I think one, it was my sense of I like to explore. So and I like to create. So being able to create something from nothing, which basically that's what coding is. You're there with a clean slate, literally. There's not a line of code, and then you have to create something that is a productive tool, whether it be a game, whether it be a spreadsheet, whether it be an accounting system or whatever. So I think that challenge really it got me. So I just kept on developing until my father, who was an odd job man, essentially, some of the rich people that he was working for needed spreadsheets. They needed software. So he was so proud of me. I mean, he would always boast to them how good I was and all that. Some of them gave me the chance to actually develop software for them. And that's how it all grew.
So 12, 13, 14, you were in school, you're developing software.
Yeah.
And this is for business.
For business,
not games.
No, not games.
So were you self-taught?
Yes, I was self-taught. I mean, what those days, there used to be these monthly magazines, computer magazines, and they had cassettes. Those days, this was before the days of the floppy disk.
Wow.
Forget the hard disk. There was not even a hard disk at those times. So it was cassette. And they would come with a magazine, and then it would have pages and pages of code, which you would then have to basically type in, and it could take you days to type it all in. And the cassette also had accompanying code, but most of the time the cassette was damaged, so you couldn't actually load it. So you had to basically type it all in, and there would be invariably syntax errors, mistakes, which you then have to go through and figure out why. I often think they put that in there on purpose to make sure that people would try and work out how to correct the problems and get the programs working. Wow. So it was like a puzzle. You get me? So I just found it so challenging, so interesting.
Amazing. So then, by the time that you burst onto the Ghanaian scene, you had done a few things in the UK already.
Yeah. I mean, I'd made my first £1 million in the UK before I came to Ghana.
Before age 17.
Yeah.
Your first £1 million. Gosh.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, I didn't even feel it.
It's unfathomable.
Yeah. And this was, this was 1989, 1990.
It means you were way ahead of your time, way ahead of the market. Because I guess one of the ways of adding value to society is to be ahead of the curve.
Yeah, but sometimes you can be a bit too far.
You were too far.
That's the problem. Yeah. So
no. So I'll come to Herman in music, but I'm trying to sort of fit the story so we can get to the logical part where you met Herman. So then, you in 1990, at least I heard of you, and then at what point did you get to meet Herman? What was the how did the story connect?
How did I end up in Ghana, basically?
Yes.
So, because of everything I was doing, I was on television virtually every day. I was on radio, I was in the newspapers, and my father would keep stacks and stacks of all the press cuttings and so on. So there was one particular interview. It was a breakfast TV show called, I think, Good Morning TV or something. I've forgotten it. TV AM, that was it, TV AM. And then for the first time, I mentioned that my mother was Ghanaian.
So this is in the UK?
This is in the UK. I'd never mentioned it before. So then there was this magazine, I don't know if you remember West Africa.
Yes.
West Africa magazine. One of the journalists saw that interview, immediately contacted my father and came and did an interview. So I was then on the front page of West Africa magazine.
Cameron Dodo and Co. were writing for that newspaper. Magazine.
Okay. I don't remember who
did the interview.
Who did the interview.
So then they came to London to meet you to do an interview.
Yes, did
for the front page of West Africa magazine.
Yeah, so there I was with my long flowing hair.
That was big.
Yeah, it was. So then that got to the attention of Chairman Rawlings. Okay. So he then instructed...
and being the Rawlings we know, he would call for you.
Exactly, yeah. So we had a call from the High Commission in London.
Yeah.
Was it KB Annan? I think he was the High Commissioner at the time.
Wow.
Called us over, my father and myself. I remember in all of this, I was still a minor. So my father had to basically accompany me and all of that. He drove me around, and I had a Porsche when I was 15. And he had to drive me. He had to drive me around.
Your long flowing hair.
But so basically the information was Chairman Rawlings wants you to come to Ghana.
Wow.
And serve your country, basically.
Had you heard of him before this?
Yes, but not in a good light, because at that time he was portrayed as a dictator, and my mother also didn't have a great opinion of Ghana.
But she was in Ghana.
She was in London.
She was in London with you.
She moved to London in the 60s.
Oh.
And then met my father there and married.
So both of them were living in London?
In London, yeah. My father used to come back to Ghana all the time. He loved it here. So as soon as he said, let's go. My mum, it caused a huge fight at home.
Oh, gosh.
But anyway, so I ended up in Ghana. And essentially, I fell in love. I found my home, let me put it like that, because I have so much family here.
Yeah.
I was installed as a chief. That was the other reason why my mother never wanted me to come to Ghana, because she said as soon as you come, they will install you.
Where is she from?
Ekumfi Otuam. So that's Atta Mills.
I don't even know how to say this. So your father's Scottish, your mother's Ghanaian. That's very Rawlings.
Yes.
And then you're from Mills's hometown.
Exactly. Yeah.
You were born for the presidency. I wonder what happened. God. Wow.
Yeah.
So they installed you a chief. And Rawlings said you should come and work for the country, essentially.
Exactly, yeah. So
at 17?
At 17, yeah.
So what project did he give you?
The very first project was actually to computerize the airport.
Straight off the bat?
Yeah, KIA.
The airport in London?
It was an interesting story, because there was actually a tender.
All right.
And the cheapest bid was $7 million back then.
All right.
I came in and then quoted $298,000. For the same thing.
So you came to spoil the market.
When he saw that, I didn't realize I was creating enemies.
You destroyed the market in your first business.
I didn't realize I created so many enemies.
200 and how much thousand?
298,000. I remember that contract sum clearly.
And Rawlings says we are going with this guy.
Yeah. And so he actually They wanted to go with the 7 million.
Yeah.
Because obviously...
It sounded reasonable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for their pockets.
Oh,
yeah,
gosh.
Yeah. So there was a lot of, resistance, should I say.
Wow.
So basically, he called the board. I remember at one point, he called the board chairman. One night, I was at the castle with him. And at that point, I was so frustrated that I was ready to go back to the UK. He called the board chairman and said, look, if you don't sign the contract by tomorrow morning, I'm dissolving the board.
Wow.
Because it didn't make sense to him when he saw all the evidence.
Because people were not happy that a 17-year-old kid would do a project for the airport for 1/20th of the amount.
So that was actually how I met Herman.
Okay.
Because they felt I was too young to actually do the project, they felt they had to bring in a consultant to manage the quality assurance. So Herman was then contracted as the consultant.
Okay.
So I remember the first time I met Herman, it was actually at his parents' house at airport.
All right.
And at that time, he was just starting soft. So this was middle of 1991.
Okay.
Just starting soft with Joe Jackson.
Yeah.
And they were working out of the front room of his parents' house.
You can't make this up.
So I used to spend so much time with him and Joe. And
so you hit off instantly?
Instantly. And I saw him as a big brother because he was 10 years older than I was.
Yeah.
Then he used to give me all kinds of advice on how to deal with the women.
He's a sharp.
Oh yeah.
I mean, even at that age, he was street smart.
Yeah. Because that time he was about 28.
Yeah.
And and he already had a huge network in Ghana because.
And what fascinates me about Herman, even though you can say he's from a posh family, I mean his street smartness and his down to earthness is unbelievable. Because you wouldn't believe that this is a son of highly placed UN officials with the best education.
Exactly.
He can sit on the floor and eat kenke with you.
Yep.
And basically just
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, he was an amazing person.
Yeah.
He could fit in at any level, whether it be presidential, right down to Jamestown and dealing with his,
He had that flexibility to make people feel important and welcome.
Exactly. Yeah.
And even though he was very, very smart, he wouldn't diminish you. So you could be talking to a carpenter or somebody who's doing something basic for him and pick ideas from the guy as if the guy is a genius.
That's it, And he always knew how to bring out the best in you.
Yeah.
And he sold hope.
Yeah.
He would make you so excited about the possibilities and all that. Even amidst the, clearly when you could see things were hard and that eternal optimism.
An eternal optimism.
Yes.
How did the project go though? 200k, airport computerization, rolling.
A project that should have taken 6 months ended up taking 2.5 years because of the impediments.
Yeah.
But Herman, in fact, he was a bit surprised because this was also his first foray into Ghanaian public life. But he managed to navigate it so well and basically showed me the ropes, and told me that how culturally how to deal with, the things that were going on. But interestingly, when we finished the project, that software was used for, I believe, 18 years.
No kidding.
Before it was replaced. Without any maintenance.
So probably into the year 2000.
Yes. So they actually replaced it at one point with an Oracle system. And then they came back to use up the system again because
it was that robust.
It was that robust.
Because you obviously built it organically.
Exactly, yeah. And this ran everything from their accounting, their payroll, inventory control, flight safety, airports, en route charges, parking, takeoff, everything.
And this is you doing this age 18, 19?
Yeah.
That is incredible. For the airport?
For the airport, yeah.
Wow.
It's funny, when I look back at it now, it seems amazing, but at the time, I didn't see it as anything. And we installed all the computers.
Yeah.
There's an interesting story. We had to import a 486. I don't know if you remember what a 486 computer was back then. Intel were now producing it was an 80486 processor. And that was what was used as servers.
Okay.
So we had to get a special clearance from the UK government, from the Ministry of... is it Ministry of Interior there? But basically we had to declare that we were not using the machine for nuclear research.
Because they had never seen anybody request for such a thing.
For a 486 going to Africa. You see, so it was interesting.
So the computing power needed to do that didn't exist on the continent.
Exactly, yeah, it didn't exist. And so when we brought, and now a 486 is probably 1/10 of the power of your phone, if that.
There's so many levels to this. So you in your late teens, Herman in his mid-20s, managing a project with men who are 40 to 60.
Yeah.
And who didn't know anything about coding or programming, but basically weren't too excited working with you.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And with Rollins breathing down their neck.
Exactly. And I think that was the biggest problem, because they were kind of embarrassed over how things went. Yeah.
But did you understand as young people that you were serving your country? Did you know the importance of what you were doing, that you were saving the country money? You were an example of young African excellence at a time when that was not really pushed, and a country that was still struggling economically. You were helping it save.
Herman certainly did, because he's the ultimate Pan-Africanist. I guess I was just enjoying what I was doing, and for me, being in the UK, it was when you sell a computer system to a doctor or something, it's an incremental step. But here it was transformative, because they had nothing. It was a completely manual system, and you're multiplying the productivity so much. So for me, that alone was so exciting, that it meant that you were impacting, the society.
A lounge should be named after you at the airport. Seriously, because this is what we used till the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And we went back to it as well.
Yeah.
This is a Citi Business Edition. We're talking to David Kwame Bolton, a man of many parts. He burst onto the world scene age 17 as a brilliant computer whiz kid, lived up to the billing, moved into other areas, music, production, other fascinating stuff about him. But this interview is essentially to celebrate the memory of Herman Chinihese, a techpreneur par excellence who died a couple of months back, buried 2nd November, and the Citi Business Edition, of which he has been a regular guest, is dedicating a number of programs to him, talking to people who knew him, who worked with him, who went to school with him, to celebrate his legacy. And when we come back, we'll continue. Stay with us.
Until I find my real side, I'm gonna get me some love, somebody. La 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 la. Until I find my real side.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Until I find my real side, I'm gonna get me some love, somebody. La 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 la. Until I find my real side.
Welcome back to the Citi Business Edition. Today we're celebrating the memory and the legacy of Herman Chinihese, a techpreneur who left us a few weeks back. And my guest for this leg of the series is David Kwame Bolton, a techpreneur himself who worked with Herman, who's now currently a director at Soft. So just tell me how you got into Soft. So you did this project with Herman, he supervised, you executed. So at what point did you become part of the Soft story?
So,
or Soft tribe?
Soft. Well, at that time it was Soft.
Soft. Okay.
It was Soft. It's actually interesting because from day one, Herman wanted us to work together.
Okay.
He wanted us to merge companies. I wasn't ready for that at the time because my father was still very much a part of what I was doing, and so what we ended up doing is we worked on projects together. So we did quite a lot of work in Nigeria. And then, we would collaborate on projects. And it wasn't until, I believe 2002, when Soft received institutional investment back in 2002, and that's how we became the Soft Tribe. So it was at that point that I joined officially.
Because your company was called?
It was called Associated Computer Enhancements.
ACE.
So ACE, yeah. So I had a computer school.
Okay.
At the industrial area in Accra, and so I joined in 2002 officially, and have been there ever since. So I in fact, I took on Herman's previous role, which was a technical director. So I became technical director, and he became chairman back in 2002.
And how long did you work before you moved to other things? Or you've been working ever since?
Ever since.
So you've been
You've
been with Soft ever since. But you also did forays into other things. So, for example, music.
Yeah.
So beyond software development, programming, and this type of thing, can I say music was your second love?
My first love, if I could have made it pay.
I get
No, the thing is, I remember the first time I really got into music was when I was in primary school. I was actually part of an orchestra. I played violin.
Oh.
And then I remember going to a computer exhibition, and there was a stall that had racks of synthesizers, and then a computer, and there was something called MIDI, right? So which stood for musical instrument digital interface.
I remember it's on my brother's piano, the right MIDI.
Yes. So
that piano keyboard.
That's it. So that enabled a computer to now sequence and control musical instruments, electronic musical instruments. So when I saw what was possible, and it married perfectly with technology, so quickly, that's where a lot of my money actually went into into equipment, and at that time it was very expensive. So I actually set up a studio in Ghana, at home in New Achimota, and I was recording as a hobby. So people like Atongo.
Tongo.
So I was recording him, Kiki Jan.
Okay.
Kiki Jan actually stayed with me for a long time.
Wow.
And then the first performance I had in Ghana was actually for Panafest. And this was at the Independence Square. So
wow.
That was with Isaac Hayes, Dionne Warwick.
Oh, I remember they came
Public
to Ghana.
Enemy, and all of that. So, and then all of the
his bald head, Isaac Hayes.
Yeah. So that was my first performance.
So this will still be in the 93, 94ish.
This was 92.
92, yeah.
92, yeah.
Panafest.
92, yeah. Panafest, yeah.
What kind of music were you doing?
I was doing more R&B, soul, pop, that sort of thing. But then, as time went on, I started producing other artists, and then in the late 90s. I get confused with all this. I feel very old now. But anyway. So late 90s to early 2000s, I was producing most of the hip life artists. So when Samini was Batman, Oforian Ponsa, VIP, Abiwan Nana, gosh, the list goes on.
You were producing them, so
yes.
They mean they also worked in your studios?
Yes, they're in our studios. So likes of Obrafo and so on. They
Paimuka?
It was actually the next album. He had already released Paimuka by that time. So the next album was I think Asem Sebe.
Asem Sebe.
Yeah. So
so that was produced by you in your studio.
In the studio. Yeah. So we worked with Hammer on that album.
Wow.
The Mami song. Remember the Mami song that's played almost every Mother's Day? That was actually my song, an old song I'd recorded, which when Obrafo heard it, he wanted that song. So he then wrote Mami over that song. So that exactly. That's the one.
That's your song.
It's my song. It was actually called All Through December originally. Yeah. So
did you feel that? Because I'm not sure you could speak Twi or Ghanaian language locally. Did that hamper the success of your music in Ghana, you think?
Possibly. You see, the thing is, I was never trying to be a successful musician. You understand? I love the process. I love hanging around musicians. I love being in the studio. So for me, it's not about how popular my music is or was. So for me, it's a process, and I love that process of creating something. I just love creating things from nothing and then throwing it out into the world. So whether it's me that's known for it or another artist, it doesn't really matter.
For somebody who's been part of the process of the evolution of music in Ghana, now producing music is a very different process from it was probably in the 80s and early 90s, where we didn't have that many studios. And so but some people feel like these days, all these enhancements sometimes create artificial musicians.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I have two different takes on it. Yes, definitely, being in the studio with seasoned musicians means that a certain level of excellence is maintained because it gets passed down to the next generation. Now that largely has been lost because the younger generation now can open a laptop, they have their Fruity Loops, FL Studio, whatever it is now, and then they can produce anything without necessarily referencing what has come before. You understand? And that's partly why we have not been able to maintain an identity for Ghanaian music. You know, from High Life to Boga High Life to Hip Life to Azonto. Now it's, you see, because we're not keen on passing down that information. And a genre is based on certain elements of music, certain rhythmic feel, certain melodies. So that's the downside, that we've lost that. But the upside is it has opened up music to people who never would have had the chance to work on it. Yeah.
Now let's talk about. So I can call you a digital native, who obviously was part of the beginnings of technology's evolution in the country. When you see where we are today, AI, robotics, deep learning, artificial, what do you call it? We have machine learning, 3D printing, cloud computing. I mean, it's crazy.
Crazy times,
I don't know. Where do you feel Ghana is? Because, I mean, I'm seeing this from the point of, look, in 91, here's a Ghanaian who's probably one of the best in the world at what he does, who could compete anywhere. It doesn't seem as if the country utilized that opportunity to really take a lead on the continent, at least, to say, look, we're going to produce the best programmers in the world. We're going to train some of the best minds. We are still consumers of technology as a net. And if innovation in technology doesn't really seem to occur here. For somebody like you who was so ahead of your time, what do you make of that?
You see, this is something that Herman always wanted to focus on. But so I kind of look at it again optimistically. If you look at the local industry, yes, we have not managed to break out onto the global IT industry, right? But even if you look at the local industry, Soft and Soft Tribe has spawned probably 20, 30, 40 other IT companies. You know, people who have passed through the hands of Soft Tribe. And you know, Herman was, as you say, he managed to instill that confidence and that hope. So we've had a number of companies that have taken off from Soft Tribe, and now that's something that I know he would be very proud of. You know, even though at the time sometimes we had some people actually stealing our software and moving on with it, but I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing. And yes, there's a long way to go. And unfortunately, it looks like we are getting further and further behind, because when we're talking about digitalization, we're not thinking along the terms of AI and so on. Because now, Google just recently announced that 25% of their code is generated by AI.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine now? So now and do you know the rate of the acceleration of AI? Right now, every 6 months, it is accelerating by a factor of 10.
Wow.
A factor of 10 every 6 months.
This is crazy.
So, in 5 years' time, we will have very few coders. We'll have code auditors. Yeah, so now it will be the actual mundane coding, which we used to spend hours racking our brains
Machines
over,
are going to do
is
it.
not going to happen anymore.
Wow.
Look, even in the music field, AI can create a whole song for you with vocals and everything, because it is able to learn, and they've taught it to learn the same way that the human brain learns. You understand? So it can create a song for you, can write the lyrics, even the videos. Very soon, movies will be created just by a prompt. A full-length movie.
Is that a good thing, though? I'm not sure if it is that a good thing?
Well, as to whether it's good or not, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. For me, back then, when synthesizers were first introduced into professional music, there's an artist called Peter Gabriel. He's a very successful. He used to work with Phil Collins and so on, and he sacked a whole symphonic orchestra and said he was going on tour with synthesizers.
You kidding me? What year is
And
it?
there was an uproar. This would have been in the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, I believe. So he basically, and the Musicians Union of the UK at that time, they wanted to take him on. They wanted to sue him and all that, because you're replacing human beings with technology. So it's not something that has started just today.
Yeah.
You know, the Industrial Revolution, robots have been building cars for decades.
Yeah.
You understand? And those cars that those companies that used to hand make the cars, yes, they were revered for some time, like Rolls-Royce and so on. But now it's realized that if you build a car of robots, it's going to be better than a human being built car.
So human beings have to train themselves to do different things.
Exactly. So I honestly, I worry and I'm excited at the same time, because it's happening too fast. And right now, because each country is afraid of falling behind, there are no boundaries being placed.
Everybody is adapting.
Yeah. So it's like we can't put any red tape and try and control this thing, because China's not going to do that, or Russia's not going to do that. So everybody should do what they want to do. So when you have people like Elon Musk sounding alarm bells that, hey, AI is dangerous, and this is somebody that's on the cusp of technology, then we should beware. But it's too late now. There's no holding it back. So we're just going to have to stand back, or hopefully get involved. That's what I do. I try and keep up to date with all the developments in AI and use it.
By the way, what else do you do now? Do you, because you still have a lot of knowledge, do you still pass it on in any way? Do you train people? Do you teach? Because I do know you are a director at Soft Tribe, and you also keep doing music. What else are you doing beyond what we've just discussed?
Yeah, so actually as a company, we and it kind of falls directly in line with Herman's vision, and in that we're working with, for instance, with the MasterCard Foundation now. So we're distributing devices and connectivity to tertiary students all over the country, so the TVETs and universities. And then we're supplying them with a knowledge base, so that they can learn digital literacy, they can learn agribusiness and entrepreneurship, and things that will help them in the to bring their level up, so that they can compete within the marketplace. Wow. So that's something we're trying to do, so that it's all well and good identifying a few bright stars, but I believe you have to bring up the general level of experience when it comes to IT. So that's one of the main things we're actually focusing on as a company now. We're also developing a lot of interesting products that you'll be hearing about very soon. We'll be launching those next year for sure.
My final question: what do you suppose Herman's greatest legacy is?
If you look at the IT industry now, and if you came to the funeral, you would have seen it. It was company upon company, IT companies who are doing so well now, that were inspired or directly spawned from Herman. You see, so he has left a huge legacy behind. Within Soft Tribe, he's left us the legacy of discipline, determination, and the fact that we can always aspire to be better. And yes, Ghana is some people will call it a dream killer, right? But it's challenging. But Herman never allowed his dreams to die. You see, he was always about Africa and what the African can do. He always believed that we can compete directly with the Zuckerbergs or the Musks. It was just a lack of resources that we have. But that won't be forever.
Wow. Thank you for taking time to talk to us on the life and times of Herman Chinrese through your lens, David Kwamina Bolton. By the way, what's your name as a chief?
It's actually Akweku Chimano the Sixth.
Is it?
Yeah.
And this is what was the title? Are you a development chief?
No, Nana Obatan. So
wow.
my ancestor Akweku Chimano the First actually founded the town.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, he founded the town. Yeah. We came from Techiman actually.
Is it?
We came all the way from Techiman, and then settled.
Ekumfi Otuyam. One of my presenters is from Ekumfi, Accra. He's called Bernard Abeku.
Okay.
And then of course President Mills, famously from Ekumfi Etiam.
Yes.
Amazing stuff. Thanks for talking to us.
Thanks for having me.
And that's all we have time for today's edition. It's part of the series we're running, celebrating and remembering Herman Chinyere, that great techpreneur who left us early November. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Until I find my real side, I'm gonna give me some love, somebody. La 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 la. Until I find my.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Yafine gave us the vibe. Now, Inshona Chile makes you thrive.
Yes, so it's time to enjoy, Charlie. Buy or renew your motor insurance and boom! Free fuel coupons and airtime for your sweat. Who know like enjoyment?
From January to June 2025, Enterprise Insurance gives you more reasons to smile on the road. Insure today and enjoy free fuel coupons for your car and airtime for your phone.
Free fuel? Airtime too? Hey! Enterprise Insurance, always your advantage.
Insure not Chile. It's simple. Insure and enjoy. Ready to secure your peace of mind and experience the fastest claims payment? Visit any of our branches or agency outlets nationwide. Connect with your insurance broker or enjoy the convenience of buying your insurance online through the Enterprise Advantage app today. Terms and conditions apply.
Enterprise, your advantage.
Join the fun and excitement of an 8-day trip through 14 regions around Ghana. That's the Heritage Caravan 2025.
The places we visited, the road trip itself was awesome.
Everything was good, yes. Even the Bui Dam was very educational.
If you're a lover of nature, adventure, road trips, or you just want to get away for a few days, then Heritage Caravan is the perfect experience for you.
It gave us an opportunity to see Ghana in a more beautiful way. It's my first time visiting most of the attractive sites that we went to, and it was amazing. And the people, the connection.
A week of an immersive Ghanaian experience, be it food, music, nature, culture, or history, the Heritage Caravan has it all. And you'll definitely have a blast when it comes to the Jama on the bus, the networking, and the bonding. Heritage Caravan 2025 is from the 2nd to the 9th of March 2025. Call 0205-973-973 now to secure your seat on the caravan.
It was an out of this world experience. I want to register before I leave here this evening, and I'll make an advance payment immediately. I don't want to miss out. You have to experience this. You have to experience this.
The Heritage Caravan 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.3 Citi FM.
What are you paying for? A delicious meal at the restaurant? Do it with SG Ghana Visa Card. Buying fuel for your car? Do it with SG Ghana Visa Card. Shopping online or at the mall or your favorite supermarket? Do it with SG Ghana Visa Card. When you need to pay, do it with SG Ghana Visa Card. With a large network of merchants and payment points, the SG Ghana Visa Card is your secure and convenient way to get things done in Ghana. You can also use the SG Ghana Visa Card for secure online purchases. Make your life easy and use your SG Ghana Visa Card today. To find out more, call 0302-214-314. That's 0302-214-314.
Société Générale Ghana. The future is you.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
It's
Friday morning, and you're welcome to Kickoff on 97.3 Citi FM. I am Edwin Kwakofi. Kickoff on the Citi Breakfast Show is brought to you by Shell V Power and Zonda GH. Straight into the bulletin, and a former Executive Council member of the Ghana Football Association, Wilfred Osei-Kweku-Palmer, is criticizing the FA's reported plan to dismiss Black Stars assistant coaches John Paintel and Joseph Lauman, describing it as a reflection of the association's consistent failures. The pair is expected to be let go ahead of Ghana's 2026 World Cup qualifiers against Chad and Madagascar. Osei-Kweku-Palmer argues that dismissing the two assistants while retaining Otto Addo as head coach is an irrelevant move.
It's a strong indication of the GFA that they've not done thorough work on the technical department of the Black Stars. When do your analysis, you realize that if there's technical failure, it will certainly come from the head coach and not the assistant. So if there is a need for the technical department to be overhauled, then everybody within that arena will have to go, not only the assistant for the head coach within. I have issues with. I'm not saying the assistant offered the needed support that he needed, but there was no complaint from the head coach that the assistants were substandard. And why would you now give an excuse to the fact that the technical bankruptcy that the Black Stars had was due to the assistant and not the head coach? It will be difficult for anybody to accept that as an excuse. It will be difficult.
That was a former Executive Council member of the GFA, Wilfred Osei-Kweku-Palmer. Well, the Ghana Premier League returns for match week 17 with a tasty clash between second bottom Accra Lions and second place BBN Gold Stars at the Wafa Park in Sogakope on Sunday. Also on Sunday, Kumasi Asante Kotoko, who are unbeaten in 5, welcome Vision FC to the Babara Stadium. Accra Hearts of Oak travel to Samra to face Samatex, and Swachiman hosts Karela United, with the two teams separated by 1 point. Basake Holy Stars return to the Crosby Iwa Memorial Park to battle Aduana FC. Mediama SC make the long journey to the Golden City Park to take on Brekum Chelsea. League leaders Kwando Hearts of Lions hosts third place Nations FC with a point between the two teams, while Young Apostles host Red Hot Bechem United, who have won 4 of their last 5 in the Bono Derby, and bottom side Legon Cities host Dreams FC at the University of Ghana Stadium. Let's head to Europe, where last night Brighton claimed their first Premier League win since November, as goals from Karo Mitoma and Jorginho Ruta helped them overcome Ipswich Town. In Manchester, Amad Diallo was the man of the moment, scoring a stunning late hat-trick as United turned what seemed to be a certain humiliating defeat into a thrilling victory over bottom side Southampton at Old Trafford. Let's hear from United head coach Ruben Amorim, who spoke after the game.
Ruben, many congratulations on the victory, but what's your overwhelming emotion that you've won a game that for a long time it looked like you might lose?
Yes, we had that feeling. We lost some chances. It was not a great game. We didn't do a great game, but I think after Liverpool and Arsenal, I felt the team a little bit tired and always late, especially in the first half, and with a lot of problems between the lines. The speed of Suleimana was really hard to catch, and they create some chances also. But then we improved in the second half. They lost some strength because they were doing man-to-man during the pressure. Then we take control of the game. We create chances. You had a feeling that it's going to be hard, but in the end, I think we deserve the win.
That was Manchester United manager Ruben Amorim. Some quick fire news before I go. And Manchester City are closing in on the signing of Eintracht Frankfurt forward Umar Mamouche. Reports indicate a verbal agreement has been reached between the clubs. And some tennis. Fifth seed Daniel Medvedev is out of the Australian Open after losing a 5-set thriller to teenager Len Atien in the biggest upset of the tournament so far. That's all from Kickoff on the Citi Breakfast Show. It was brought to you by Shell V Power and Zonda GH. My name is Edwin Kwakofi. The Citi Breakfast Show with Caleb Kuda continues.
Guys, Charlie, you know that mining contract I've been chasing for years? No? I just got awarded the deal. But the issue is where to get the right and quality heavy-duty trucks to execute this job here in Ghana.
Relax, my guy. Remember my recent construction deal at Pokwase? Zonda sorted me out.
Zonda? What? Who is that?
Zonda Tech Ghana Limited is your one-stop shop for machinery, heavy and light-duty trucks, and pickups. They have the Shantui bulldozers, graders, payloaders, rollers, poor pickups, 4-land light trucks, TX trucks, and oil tanks, made and assembled right here in Ghana with top-notch after-sales service and standard prices.
Made in Ghana. This is amazing.
You haven't seen my Zonda Power pickup, which I take to the office? Strong, durable, and tough on our roads.
Hey, that's from Zonda too?
Absolutely. Zonda is the right place for you, my guy.
Oh, now I am sorted with Zonda. Zonda Tech Ghana Limited, your solution for heavy and light-duty trucks. Located at Tema, off their Flower Road. Call 0501-772-222 or 0501-773-333. Zonda, built in Ghana, building Ghana.
In a world where only the best survives, you need a fuel that can match your drive. A fuel with unparalleled protection for your engine, superior efficiency, and unrivaled performance. A fuel so unbeatable, when you get behind the wheel, you'll focus on what really matters. The journey ahead. That fuel is Shell V-Power, because no other fuel gives your engine better protection, better efficiency, and better performance. Be unbeatable. Drive unbeatable. Shell V-Power. Shell. Go well.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
You looking for a bank to rely on? Let me give you a shoulder to lie on. Wouldn't we sick out to bank baby? No lie, only one place where I get my eye on. Make I introduce you all to First Bank, the best services in the world, first rank. Customer service, everything is well planned. I make music, I travel, I sell land. They be my reserve tank, cause every time I know my money's safe. Universal banking ain't in me here the date. I'm a busy person, me no need time to wait. Now you got to Spain, even when I'm in the States. My me blue shirt. They tell me office a chilly, but who cares? Cause I bank with the best. I'm lucky, I'm too blessed. When it comes to First Bank, it's too west. Everything is you first. Woo!
Nobody feed do I'm like us. Do I'm like us. First Bank we treat you first. Treat you first. Somebody see yeah. Think about you first. Think about you first.
You first. First Bank.
Auntie T, I beg, fix me go betete Ghana. No gari, no oil, no plantain, just beans then eggs.
Hey, brah, that be dangerous combination, no?
Problem no day. I feel handle am.
For Telecel, with the Bob say everybody gets what they like. That be why Made For Me bundles day. Based on your usage, you fit get your own data and call packages. Fala! Made For Me bundles like the way you the want town. That *530#, then buy Made For Me bundles today.
Telecel, connecting energies.
This ad is not about how convenient or easy to use the Affinity app is, or not having to worry about monthly or transaction fees. Yes, banking without fees. This ad is about Affinity providing the necessary services to help grow your business. Because banking doesn't have to be an inconvenience. With Affinity, you're in. To get the app, dial *229# or go to affinityghana.com.
Join the fun and excitement of an 8-day trip through 14 regions around Ghana. That's the Heritage Caravan 2025.
The places we visited, the road trip itself was awesome.
Everything was good, yes. Even the Bui dam was very educational.
And you're a lover of nature, adventure, road trips, or you just want to get away for a few days, then Heritage Caravan is the perfect experience for you.
It gave us an opportunity to see Ghana in a more beautiful way. It's my first time visiting most of the attractive sites that we went to, and it was amazing. And the people, the connection.
A week of an immersive Ghanaian experience, be it food, music, nature, culture, or history, the Heritage Caravan has it all. And you'll definitely have a blast when it comes to the Jama on the bus, the networking, and the bonding. Heritage Caravan 2025 is from the 2nd to the 9th of March 2025. Call 0205-973-973 now to secure your seat on the caravan.
It was an out of this world experience. I want to register before I leave here this evening, and I'll make an advance payment immediately. I don't want to miss out. You have to experience this. You have to experience this.
The Heritage Caravan 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.3 Citi FM.
Imagine waking up in a beautiful home you can call your own, or watching the value of the plot of land you invested in grow year after year. This 2025, Apollonia City is inviting you to start the year right by making a smart investment in property. Apollonia City offers high-quality real estate that is ever appreciating. At Apollonia City, the value is not just your home or land. It is also the area that surrounds it. Tarred roads with safe speed limits, drainage for even the most punishing floods, and neighborhood planning that ensures your view will never change. Choose any of our serviced or semi-serviced plots or any of our beautifully crafted homes and enjoy up to a 3-year payment plan. Call us on 0275-577-577 or 0542-777-222 and let's help you start the year right.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Citi 97.3. More variety.
Sweet honey. Dead dough. Dead dough. Some from my wife, Joyce.
Hey, what me do?
Sweet. Honey. Honey. Sweet memory. Dead dough. Dead dough. Dead dough.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
Besa fufura, beka fire, waka jamanya mama minya bere. Maya kufunyina apumo, wamba fiebio. Mimaya ata sisa, ena asam, ota asamo, ao jose, sambre fie, jaiso. nyapamuda sapadamu mawana jaso ekitema kumasafwa au jaso bro jaso bro
Mapino day Mapino day Mapino ano odon to city Mapino Merki kenyina ayatete nasuna mofre.
As 12 after 8, more appointments have been made so far, and there are many expectations out there. Who are the personalities manning the various, ministries? There are a few more to go, and we have 4 more days for the president to tell us who the rest of his appointees are, right? Because he says he'll be doing this in the next 14 days. So far, we've seen about 11, 12
substantive minister
12 substantive, and then some regional
nominations. So 25 in all.
25 in all.
35 to come.
35 more to go.
Will you be there days? When the list is released? Will your name be on?
That's a big question. So who are some of the people we have so far? What are the expectations of their stakeholders? And what do you make of the appointments? All of that coming up on the show this morning. But we have some important announcements for you shortly.
Exactly. Start the new year in style. It's a new year and it's already raining rewards on the digital payment platforms of Fidelity Bank. So win cool cash when you transact in multiples of 200 cities using a Fidelity mobile app, USSD cards, point of sale payments, or GHQR. Now, for every 200 CD transaction performed on these platforms, you will be entered into a weekly draw to stand the chance of winning cash prizes. Now, this promo is regulated by NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
Nice one. Earlier you heard Kickoff. It was brought to you by Zonda Ghana Limited. It's your one-stop shop for quality trucks like Shantui bulldozers, excavators, graders, payloaders, rollers, power pickups, TX trucks, and oil tanks, all made and assembled right here in Ghana. They also provide top-notch after-sales service for all your heavy and light-duty trucks as well as machinery needs. So visit us today at any of our 7 branches around the country. Our head office is off the Temaplau Road, close to the Free Zones Enclave. The numbers to call is 0501 77 222, 0501 77 333. Zonda is built in Ghana and building Ghana. Shell V-Power is also proud to be associated with Kickoff. Fuel up with Shell V-Power and experience unbeatable protection against performance-robbing deposits. No other fuel delivers better engine protection. Keep your ride running smoothly as we do. Make your engine unbeatable with Shell V-Power. Shell, go well.
And it's time to maximize and grow your business exponentially using the Bisame app, which helps you connect to your customers. All you need to do is register your business, reach more customers, and watch your sales boom. With Bisame app, your security is assured. Our trade assurance ensures your online purchases are also secured. So locate the item you want to buy from any social media platform. Inform Bisame. The seller is called to bring the item to the office for inspection before you make payments, and the item is then shipped to you wherever you are. So grow your business, connect with customers, and enjoy success with Bisame.
Yeah, man.
And buy or renew your existing motor insurance and enjoy amazing rewards, free fuel coupons for your car and airtime for your phone. It's that simple. With over 100 years of trusted experience, we are here to secure your peace of mind. Visit any branch of Enterprise Insurance, who are giving you more reasons to smile between January and June 2025. So use your Enterprise Advantage app for convenience and enjoy free fuel coupons and airtime instantly. Enterprise is rated AAA by the GCR for financial strength and claims paying ability. And don't forget that Crystal Ball 2025 is happening next week, the 23rd of January, on the theme From Challenge to New Opportunity. It's basically the 11th edition, thinking of how sectors will change next year, which policies are in place, and how your business will be impacted by all of these changes. The Crystal Ball Africa is a Pan-African business forum with some great speakers. Come to crystalballafrica.com for more information.
Very important one there. And if you want to have unforgettable moments daily, come with your family to enjoy delightful welcome drinks, mouth-watering delicacies, soothing melodies, and a relaxed atmosphere, all at unbeatable offers. Plus, take advantage of our special holiday accommodations for a complete getaway experience. Come for unforgettable performances this and every Friday at Zone inside the African Regent Hotel from 6 p.m. Also, if you need a modern equipped space for conferences, meetings, events, and parties, we're a call away. WhatsApp or call us 0268 265 386 0302 765 180. To make your reservations today, you can also email us on mkt@african-regent-hotel.com. African Regent Hotel, simply Afropolitan. So, Bernard, yesterday, 12 more was released.
9 more to add to the 3 to make it 12
exactly
for substantive ministers, and then 3 more to add to the 10 to make it 13. So we have 13 regional ministers out of 16.
Yeah.
And then we have 12 substantive ministers out of 23.
Correct.
Plus deputies yet to be named.
4 days for the rest to be released.
That's
so
if he's going to work with the 14-day deadline he gave us.
Yeah.
There are many constraints. So he has the constraint of having reduced the number of ministers from 30 to 23.
Yeah.
Having given himself 14 days after his swearing in, he was sworn in on the 7th. So if you add 14 to that, that's 21st. So basically by Tuesday, the full list should be out. Then you also have some other interesting constraints. The Constitution talks about regional balance in appointments. Now, this was already a problem before 2018, but it's made even worse because before 2018, Akufo-Addo's first term, there were 10 regions. So if you appoint somebody from Nalerigu or appoint somebody from Bole, it's considered the same region.
Yeah.
But now, if you appoint somebody from Nalerigu, he's from Northeast. If you appoint somebody from Bole, he's from Savannah.
Wow.
In the past, if you appoint somebody from Sefuyo, so he was in the Western region. But now he's Western North. So you need to also look at somebody from Shama.
Yeah.
If you appointed somebody from Raura, he was Volta, but now he's Uti. If you appoint somebody from Techiman, it was Bono Ahafu, but now it's Bono East. So now the president has 23 cabinet. In fact, cabinet is 19, by the way.
Yeah.
So he has 23 minister nominees to do, or ministry nominees. He's done 12, and he has 16 regions, which he has to try as much as possible to balance.
Wow.
Now, I'm going to tell you something. He's managed to give appointments to, and I'm not talking regional ministers here.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about substantive ministers.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah.
So you can see quickly that he is trying to have regional
Satisfy
balance.
the regional balance requirement.
He is trying to have gender balance. He is trying to have generational balance.
Right.
And all of that within a context of a limited number of ministries. So it's going to be very, very tough for him. So if you look at the list that has come out, we can quickly see two things. We can see that almost all of them are members of parliament.
Yeah.
That's number one. In fact, the only person I see on the list who's not a cabinet, who's not a member of parliament, is the Ministry for Youth Development, which
true.
is George Opariado,
National Youth Organizer for the NDC.
Everybody else is a member of parliament.
Right.
So that's number one. You can see quickly there.
Most likely they were previously deputy in the same role.
Thank you. So number two, they were mostly either deputies in the NDC time or caucus leaders or ranking members.
In the same role.
Jinapo was energy deputy, ranking member, caucus leader. Opoku was Eric Opoku is caucus for Agric.
Yeah.
Ayine, constitutional, legal and parliamentary affairs. The only strange one is Haruna.
Yeah,
he was not on the education committee.
Yeah.
He was not a deputy minister of education. He was substantive minister for 3 ministries: communication, employment, and trade. So Haruna put an asterisk and discuss later.
Yeah.
You pick Kaziel, deputy minister, ranking member, same progression.
Now substantive finance minister.
Now Jifa Gomashi, former deputy minister, now substantive.
True.
Agboja was the roads sector leader.
Yes.
He's given the position. I suspect Ahmed Ibrahim was possibly on the local government committee. He's been in parliament for 4 terms.
He's MP for Banda.
So you can see the progression there. So Emilia Arthur was a former deputy Western Regional Minister. Now she's fisheries minister.
Fisheries, yeah.
A Jari is the MP for Techiman North. She was the minister for tourism. Now she's the minister for trade. So she's more like a lateral movement. Now Momolate is MP for Crow.
Yeah.
We don't know which committee she was on.
She's going to children, gender.
Yes. So now this is the issue now that Mahama has. For Bono region, he has one person, Ahmed Ibrahim.
Okay.
For Eastern region, he has George Opariado.
That's right.
For Western region, he has Emilia Arthur so far. For Bono East, he has Patience Ejari.
Yeah.
For Central region, he has Kazi of Atufosin. For Greater Accra, he has Nam Momolate for gender. For Northern region, he has Haruna for education. And by the way, Haruna is the first person in the Fourth Republic, I stand to be corrected, to be substantive education minister. I know that Ibn Chambers was a deputy minister for education, but I am not sure if this Fourth Republic has had a substantive education minister for the North. I stand to be corrected, so if I'm wrong, somebody correct me. Upper East has Dominica Yine AG. I have Waseriko Poku Agric. Savannah has Jinapo as energy. Volta has 2. Kwame Agboja
and
for roads and Jifa for
tourism.
So now this is what you have. Oti is yet to have a substantive minister.
Yeah.
Apart from regional. Ashanti also yet to. Western North also yet to. Northeast also yet to. Upper West also yet to. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 regions. Now this is the other interesting thing. You have 11 positions left. See, the way Mahama has done this is easy for us to even calculate it. You have 11 ministries left. So we can even share the post now. Nobody has been appointed for labor, jobs and employment yet.
True.
Second one, works, housing and water resources. Nobody's been appointed. Environment, science, technology. Nobody. Communication, digital technology and innovation. Nobody.
Foreign affairs is the big one. A lot of people are looking forward to that one too.
Not yet.
Not one done yet.
Then there's also what?
Lands and natural resources. That's yet to be done. Ministry of Sports and Recreation yet to be done. Ministry of Transport. There's Defense that is also up. Ministry of Interior and then Ministry of Health. So far 11 of these we've not seen.
So you have 11.
Anyone yet.
You have 11 substantive positions.
Yeah.
And you have 5 regions who have not received a minister.
Yes, and some of these may not have deputies because of the constraint of only appointing 60 ministers.
I can easily tell you that I don't think the newly created Ministry for Youth Development needs a deputy.
Yeah.
I don't think it does. The National Youth Authority is there to deputize.
True.
So the whole authority should work with him. But the man has to release by Monday or Tuesday at least 11 names, plus the 3 regional ministers is not chosen.
Yeah.
So there are 3 regions that don't have ministers yet. I think there's I'll find out for you shortly. So the man has given himself 3 constraints: a time constraint, a regional balance constraint, and then a 23 out of from 30 constraint. So it's basically given. So it's going to be very interesting.
And then he's trying to do gender balance, age balance, and all of that. I see that in the appointments, you know.
On the gender, he has, of the 12 substantive, 4 women. And then on the regional, 13 substantive, 3 women.
Yeah.
So you have 7 out of 25 being women. So that's slightly higher than 1/4.
Yes, you have Agnes Na Momo Latte, Ablajifa Gomashi, Emilia Arthur, you have Elizabeth Ofosu-Ajare, Rita Kosia J.
So now hold on. So the 4 you mentioned are the substantive ministers.
Substantive ministers, yes.
Then for the regional ministers, I call it substantive just to differentiate. Sector ministers.
Great.
Regional ministers, there are 3 more women.
Yes, this is Rita Akosia J. Easting, Charity Gardner Ahafo, and then Greater Accra you have Linda Oklu. So for the regional, out of 16 we have 3 so far.
No, out of 13 because he hasn't named 3.
So
he's named 13 regional ministers.
Right.
There's 3 left. So
Correct.
the gender balance is 3 out of 13 for regional, 4 out of 12. So 4 out of 12 is 1/4.
Yeah.
But what you need to do is to look at Parliament. How many women do we have in Parliament? That will give us a good measure of what he's doing. And it looks like so far, there's only 1 MP as regional minister.
Yeah.
And there's only 1 non-MP as minister. So you can see there's some method they are using.
Yeah.
Okay. So what if so this is what I'm going to say. If this approach, or if this preamble is to continue, you can actually guess who will be minister, because what do you know? Pick OT, who are the MPs?
Yeah.
Which of them can qualify for a ministerial position?
Right.
So let me give an example. Western North, they have 8 MPs of NDC. There's Richard Champong of Bia East. There's Bodi Samson Ahi. And then there's Akando of Dwaboso.
Yeah.
You can say those are the 3 leading names. Samson Ahi was a former deputy minister for
Works and Housing.
Good. And
Works and Housing is also yet to be announced.
Good. So you could say Akando is the spokesperson or the caucus leader for health.
Health committee, yes.
Good. Richard Champong has also been quite influential in finance.
Richard Champong.
Good.
Okay.
So if you take these 3, you can say if Western North is going to get a minister, it's probably going to be
Dwaboso, Bodi, or Mr. Champong's place.
No, I think it's either between the MP for Dwaboso
and Bodi,
who is gunning for health, or the minister for
Works and
former minister of deputy. That's Samson Ahi. That's what I see.
Okay.
Again, this is not.
So if Western North will get a ministerial,
this is what
it should be out of these 3.
But the president is not limited to MPs. But we are saying, so let me just qualify this. If the trend, because you see, why am I establishing this trend? If you look at the regional ministers, they are all party executives.
True.
So you can safely say that the people being considered for the remaining regional ministers are possibly party people. All right. Now, if you look at the substantive or sector ministers, apart from Giorgio Parado, they are all MPs. So that seems to be the rubric or the method they are using. So again, I'm not saying I've heard. So nobody should say I'm promoting. I'm just saying this is what I see. Okay. So it looks like Western North, if they will have a minister, it will be from that 8. Now we can check who the 8 are. I can find who those 8 are for you.
Yeah.
The ones that readily come to mind will be Samson Ahi, who's like a 6th-term MP, and then Akando, who's a 4th-term MP. Okay, and then Richard Champong, who's also done I think 3 or 4 terms. So those seems to be leading names. Now the other thing you need to not forget is Upper West Region. Upper West Region has been very, very strong for NDC. Okay, now what will they do by way of MP? Let's look at the potential names. Peter Lange, and please, nobody should say I'm doing lobbying. I'm just extrapolating.
Based on the trends.
I beg, don't call me and say I said I will be a minister. Who are the MPs? So we have Richard Kuire for Nandom. Okay, I'm just going one by one. Titus Bayu for Lambusi. Titus Bayu is a former executive of the GMA. Then we have Mohammed Adams Sukbaru for Sisala West. All right.
Yeah.
Then we have Mohammed Issa Batagia for Sisala East. Now we have a big name here. Wa Central. What is his name? Abdul Rashid Hassan Pelpo. Rashid Pelpo. He's been a minister for sports.
Yes.
He's been a minister for private sector. You should think that he may be considered again.
Something.
But we also have other names. Bid Ziadeng for Laura.
Yeah.
You have Cletus Dapila for Jirapa. You have Suma Anthony Muikara for Nadoli Kalio. You have Sebastian Sandari for Dafema Isabusi. We have Wa East Godfred Seidu Jisor. Jisor is, I actually interviewed him when we were doing you remember we did this discussion about this dam, the Pualugu dam. And I think Jisor heads a committee.
That's true.
He was a trade or something.
True.
Then we have I've done Rashid Pope already.
Yes.
Then we have Peter Lanchini Tobu, a former policeman, Wa West.
Yeah.
So you have 11 possible names for a cabinet minister position. So your guess as good as mine. Let me do the Western North properly so people don't say I'm discriminating. So let me pick Western North and then see whether there's any case to be made based on, and by the way, listeners, this is based on what the president has already done. Okay, we can see that he's choosing people who are in parliament, who are either former deputy ministers or caucus leaders, and who are qualified. Okay, so let's go to Bia East. We have Richard Champong. Okay.
Yeah.
Then Bia West, you have Tanko Mustafa Amadou. Then Joaboso, you have Kwabena Minta Kando. We mentioned him as a possible candidate in the health sector. Afo Kofi Bente Sefiri also. Bibiani is Richard Asamoah Brefo. And Sefi Akontombra, Pius Kwame Nkua, I think the name is
Sefi Akontombra.
Yes, and then Oscar Oforilabi for our win. So these are the names. I'm sure our regional correspondents can tell us more what they make. The other region that hasn't gotten a substantive minister yet is Oti.
Oti region.
Oti. I'll come to Ashanti shortly. If you come to Oti region, they have a number of members of parliament as well. And by the way, Oti gave NDC all.
Everything.
Okay. So just give me a minute. I'll get Oti for you. So listen, as you tell us what you make of the approach we are using, whether who will get what. Oti has 9 constituencies. Who are some of the MPs? John Kwabena Bless Oti, Nkwanta North Oti Bless. Then you have Godfred Kinney or Jeffrey Kinney from Nkwanta South. Then you have Solomon Kuyon for Krachi in Chumuru. You have Nelson Jabab from Krachi East. Then you have Helen Ajuan Toso for Krachi West. She was a minister in the previous government.
Yeah.
You have Yao Gomado
for Akan.
You have Jean-Marie
Biakoye
for Madi for Biakoye.
Okay.
You have Kofi Adams for Boem.
Yeah.
The newly created Guan constituency, which is South
Fred
Agbenyo.
Yes.
So those are the 9.
So out of these, if anyone is going to get a ministerial role for what is left, then it's up for people to decide.
Yes. So we are just telling you who the possible names being considered are.
That is if we are fulfilling the requirement of regional balance.
Let's go to Ashanti.
Yes, in Ashanti.
Very big region. Now Ashanti region, the NDC got what's happening here? Sorry, the NDC had about 7 seats in terms of the parliamentary people.
Yeah.
The most prominent being the MP for Asawase, Mohammed
Mubarak.
Okay, so he's the MP for Asawase.
Yeah.
NDC had 7. The others are Nasira Afre Jechi for Setra From Plains. Then you have Ejira Sechojumasi Mohammed Bawa Brahima.
Yeah.
Then you have Hafuano Southeast Yakubu Mohammed.
Yeah.
Then you have Akrofuom
Joseph Azuma.
Then you have
Adansia Sukwa.
Who is there?
Godwin Animli Jogbaji Dorani.
He's the one who overthrew
Katie Hammond.
And then finally you have Abdul Salam Adams for New Dubiasi. So you have 7. 7 is and of course the one who stands tall is Mohammed Muntaka.
Yeah.
Muntaka was a former sports minister.
Yeah.
You would think that he will be considered for a position.
Or something else.
He's been in parliament for almost 6 terms. Right? So the last region I have not dealt with in terms of appointment is the Northeast region. Am I correct? Northeast region. Okay. Northeast region has this is the region of birth of Dr. Bawumia. Now the interesting thing is that there are 3 NDC MPs in the Northeast region. All right. So they are Seidu Al Hassan Alajo Chereponi. Okay. Then you have Bunkurugu Abednego Azuma Bindam. Abednego Bindam. He's a guy who is his constituency that there was this girl. It was a school that they were interviewing them about parliament, and they did a reenactment of a whole parliamentary session. And Abednego Bindam wanted to sponsor them. He's an interesting guy. Then you have Yunyo Alasan Sulemana. So there are 3 names from the north. So if they are going to work with MPs, these are the list, but you can choose somebody from a region who's not an MP.
And Bernard, from the trends, it doesn't look like Mahama will go beyond the party people, right? There's been this call for an all-inclusive government. Appoints from the pool of talents you have,
like who?
Whether it's across the aisle, or people maybe in civil society, or
but you have 100 you have 100
plenty MPs already.
80.
So you have to work with them.
How do you have 180 3 MPs?
Yes.
And even 4 independents who all say they are
going to work with you.
So 187.
Yes.
How are you going to go outside and go and choose somebody from across the
aisle? They say you are creating an inclusive government, So
but inclusion,
everything must come from.
Okay,
especially for Ministerial.
So it's a good thing. So this, what is inclusion? Inclusion means that various strata of society and opinions are considered.
Yeah.
So generally, gender is the first distinction: male, female.
Yeah.
2, age.
Yes. Young and old.
So indeed, there are. In fact, since you brought yourself, let me do that Agama lizard for you. So there's gender, which is male, female.
Yeah.
Then there is generation, and I'm going to use a foreign descriptor. So there's the so-called baby boomers born between 1946 and 1964. So I can say that John Mahama is a baby boomer. All right.
94 and 64.
No, 1946.
46 and 64.
That's when they were born.
Baby boomers.
He was born in 57 or 56. So people born between 46 and 64.
Baby boomers.
Now the group before them are called the silent generation. So for example, Kufuor, Kwame Pianim, Ado Kufuor. These people were born between 1925 and 1945. So Kwame Pianim, Kofi Annan. You get it?
Yeah.
Atta Mills. These guys were born before 1945.
Yeah.
Then there's the 45 to 64 group. It ends with 64. Now there's Generation X, who were born between 1965 and 1980. A lot of the members of parliament are Generation X people.
Generation X.
From my research, the average parliamentarian in Ghana was born in that group between 1965 and 1980.
65 and 1980.
That's a 15-year gap. The average MP. That if you do a generational, what's the name? A generational
analysis, gap analysis.
I don't call it gap. Age. The age range that has the most MPs is the Generation X, born 1965 to 1980. This is something that the Americans and global people use, so we can use it. The next group is the millennials. That's the second largest group, born between 1981 to 1996. That's my generation. 1981 to 1996. All right, which is your generation as well. Good. Then there's Gen Z. Gen Z born between 1997 and 2012. So if you're born in 97, how old are you? To 2007 you are 10, 2017 you are 20. So you are like below 30. So Generation Z, there are a few. So I suspect that the Ashanti Regional Minister, how old is he?
He's in his late 30s.
Oh, late, okay.
Yeah. You'll be 28 if you're born in 1997.
So between 28 and lower, that's Gen Z.
Yeah.
Then the Alpha generation are my kids. All right, basically 2013 below.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that you are talking about inclusion.
Yeah.
So the president has done 7 out of 25 women. Is that inclusive enough?
Right.
Number 2, we can do an age breakdown of these people easily
to see that.
Now the pool he has, I am saying that most of the people he can appoint are in Generation X. He himself is a baby boomer. He's born between 46 and 64.
Yeah.
Right. So I think he was born in 56 or 57. Most of his ministers will be people born between 65 and 1980. The second group will be between 81 and 96. All right. Now, so he needs to be inclusive there.
He was born in 58.
Very good. Then the third point on inclusion is religion.
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
So or faith. All right. Then there's also regional inclusion, ethnicity. So he's looking at gender, he's looking at age, he's looking at religion, then he's looking at north, south, all the 16. So it should be 10 and 16. Do you get it? In some countries they even add sexual orientation.
Yeah.
So now they'll say you need to have people who are also from a certain
orientation.
You get it? So that's the inclusion thing. So it's a tough situation.
So he has a big pool to pull from to appoint from already from Parliament. So you're looking at gender, religion, age, north-south mix, and all of that.
But
And
there's something happening that we haven't taken notice of.
Tell me.
So there's a leadership handing over ceremony that is taking place, but we don't know. So what I'm seeing in Parliament is that easily about 40% of the MPs we have now are Generation X people, 1965 to 1980. All right, that's the generation that's leading the country now. They are the people who are aged. That if somebody is born in 1980, he's 44 years old.
Yeah.
Or he'll be 45 this year. And 45 all the way to 60. So people aged between 45 and 60, because you're born in 65, right? So it means you are 60 this year.
Yeah.
You know so?
Yeah, so Gen X 46 to 64 and
no, Gen X is 65 to 80.
65 to 80.
So the generation that I think is in charge, ministers, MPs, chief executives,
agency heads,
they are mostly age. They will be aged between 44 to 60.
Okay.
Born between 1965 and 1980.
So generally there is a handing over to the younger generation that's ongoing.
Look at most of the guys who lost on the MPP side.
Yeah.
Katie Hammond.
Much older.
A lot of them are quite. They are more the baby boomer generation.
Yeah.
A lot of them have lost.
Yeah.
Or not even lost. Left Parliament. Chairman has left Parliament. Just look at leadership of MPP.
Yeah.
Who have not even decided to come back.
Yeah.
Even James Ameju of NDC.
Also. Yeah.
Okay. They are all
And
people who are in the 60s. Okay. So the question is, this generation X people who are now leading us, what is their context? And by the way, the people who are determining the trends are the millennials and the Gen Zs.
Yeah.
Okay. But they are not necessarily in leadership.
True.
The leadership, those who have the wealth, those who have the connections, are people who are aged between 65, who were born between 65 and 1980, 81. Okay. So the question is, what Ghana did they grow up in? So if you're born, if you're born in 1965, it means 75, you were 10 years old.
Yeah.
So when Rawlings came in 81 properly as a president, you were like 16 years old. So you understood coup d'etat.
Yeah.
You saw you may not have understood let the blood flow, but if you're born in 65, you saw the June 4 revolution, okay, as a teenager, and then you had 10 years of Rawlings as a military ruler, and then by the time democracy came in the early 90s, you were mature. How does that shape the way you see the world?
Think.
Okay, you were an adult when computers came, so you are not a digital native, but you are intelligent enough as a 20-something person when computers came. What does that mean for the way you see the world and what is happening today? I think these are important conversations. We need to have intergenerational conversations. Okay, I always give this example. When I went to the university in the year 2000, I was in Legon Hall, F block. We were 4 in the outer room and 1 in the inner room, and all of us had a picture. So I basically had 8 people in a room meant for 2 people. That's my generation.
Today is about twice.
When my father was in Legon, he was in Ekwafu Hall. There were only 2 in a room. Their balcony was for stretching your neck and shouting across. It was not for sleeping. My balcony is now called an inner room. Okay. Now
from 2 to 8. Now you are 16.
He is in a silent generation. So my generation, and by the way, usually you see how it works. A silent generation is the 25 to 45. There are 2 generations between me and my father, but some of his children are in the generation X. We should be able to ask him a question. How come when you were in Legon, you were sleeping 2 in a room? You and all your friends who went to Legon.
And now you are doing 8.
You get it? Okay, now those in Legon today, luckily, we've built 4 more halls. We have a few more buildings. So it's not as dire as my time. Okay. Now that shapes the way we think about the world. So the challenge for the university is to say, okay, by the time my kids are in university, will University of Ghana be competitive as a university? Can it compete with Harvard, Oxford, all these universities? Will there be quality education? Will they have places to sleep? Do we have enough space to accommodate all those who be educated? These are the questions that a minister for education like Haruna should be asking himself.
And the executive director of Africa Education Watch is pushing some questions also to the next education minister for the kind of education ministry that we should be building for the next generation. He's not alone. The president of National Association of Graduate Teachers has also been pushing some buttons. We'll go to the agri sector as well. So basically all the stakeholders have joined their voices, and they are making demands for their sectors on what they expect the minister nominees to be doing, including roads. And we'll be bringing you some of those voices, Bernard.
Okay.
I have some excess, but let me pay a bill or two and then get back to the conversation. So Happy New Year from Zenith Bank. As we welcome 2025, we extend our heartfelt appreciation for your loyalty and support. We remain steadfast in our commitment to providing innovative banking solutions, delivering exceptional service that exceeds your expectations. We wish for you a year of growth, prosperity, and shared achievements. Let's make this year extraordinary today. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. So MTN is running the MTN Free After One promo. Have you heard about it? Prepare to have an upgraded experience. With the MTN Free After One Extra, you can talk for 1 whole hour uninterrupted while paying for only the first minute of every 10 minutes you talk, which means for every 10 minutes you talk within the hour, you only pay for the first 10 minutes. We also give you 70 megabytes of data for free after your first call. So you see, now is the time to talk extra with all the people you love. To subscribe to MTN Free After One Extra today, just dial star 550 hash. Star 550 hash is the number, and follow the prompt. And to join our conversations as well, 0549986996 is the number. Join us with your comments. What are your expectations? What do you expect the newly appointed ministers or the minister nominees to do to create a better sector for the next generation? 0549986996 is the number. So the executive director for Africa Education Watch, Kofi Asare, has been speaking to us, and he's been calling on the education minister designate Haruna Idrisu to prioritize reducing urban rural disparities in education access and learning outcomes. He noted that only 3 out of 10 children in northern Ghana progress from kindergarten to junior high school. 3, and that compares to 8 or 9 in urban areas. He's been telling us, he's been speaking to City News and calling on government to address these gaps and ensure equitable education opportunities nationwide. Let's listen to Kofi Asare.
I didn't see it coming, even though I didn't see it as a surprise, but I didn't see it coming because some names have been mentioned, earlier in the grapevine, and then so more or less it diverted expectations towards those names. But I didn't see it as a surprise for nominating someone who is not an educationist to be minister, because we've had good ministers in the education ministry who are not educationists but left a good mark, and so I'm not surprised about that.
I see. I know your interest in basic education and a few other areas, but what will you say should be the first critical things for the minister to tackle?
Well, the president has promised to hold an education conference to convene stakeholders to discuss strategies and approaches to implementing key proposals in their manifesto, and also key issues in the sector. So they're looking forward for the minister to convene so that citizens can have an opportunity to make a case or make their submissions in respect of pressing issues in the sector. That for me is the key, is the most important thing. It is based on the outcome of this education conference which the NDC promises to undertake or to convene in the first 120 days that the minister would obviously launch his roadmap for the sector. And so I expect that happens very soon. The second most important thing is that the education budget is just at the corner. In March, we are expecting the government to roll out its first budget. We expect to see the minister influencing the education budget to ensure that at least we have 20% of public budget allocated to education, and that should be the basis for which one would expect that the 140 education promises in the NDC's manifesto would see an expedited commencement in year one. So we're looking forward for good education influencing, good education ministers influencing on the education budget, and also the convening of the education conference.
The education sector appears to be one with many issues: strike actions, warfare issues, infrastructure, etc. What will you say should be his approach in dealing with the sector?
It depends on the sector. For secondary education subsector and its politicized free senior high school, the advice is that the approach should be a gradualist one. The government has 3 big ticket reforms in secondary education: 1, to end double track; 2, to decentralize the feeding of senior high schools in the procurement; and then 3, to include private schools in the senior high school, free senior high school. There are other ones. These are the big ticket ones. In all this, we recommend an approach that is gradualist, okay, so that we don't unduly truncate processes. For example, if you want to decentralize feeding, you must adopt a gradualist approach in phasing out the centralized feeding system, such that you don't cause shortages in food, or you don't cause disruption in the supply of food and all that. And so gradualist approaches are required where radical, if you like, reforms have been proposed in the manifesto of the NDC. In other areas where we are laid back, we are way back, the opposite is required: a much more catalyzed action. Areas, for example, providing furniture for rural schools, adequate textbooks, and infrastructure for deprived schools, because the biggest challenge in the basic education sector is the rural-urban divide and the high drop outreach. And so we expect the minister to hit the ground running in outlining policies and interventions to close the rural-urban gap, and if you like, the north-south divide, because the 5 northern regions, OT and Western North, are totally, disconnected from the national level average when it comes to education attainments.
The previous government or minister's focus really has been on STEM. They argue that is the way to go in the 21st century. What should be his focus on the education, on the sector, in terms of the trajectory of the instruction or of the subject matter? Should it still be STEM, or you think something else should be done?
Well, there's one thing we have in our engagement with the political parties during the development of their manifestos, and we work with all the key parties in their manifesto and their development process. We kept reminding the parties that we don't want to continue with this flagship governance approach in education policy. You see, flagship governance approaches, normally it will lead to prioritization of some, aspect of the education system. But then the danger is that it also has the potential of unprioritizing, or neglecting certain aspects because of the flagship nature of the policy governance we witnessed in the past. And so it's not about focusing on this or making this your key priority, but for me, as a canon, as a principle, as a guiding principle, as a canon, one thing should be clear in the mind of the government, that if there's a legacy to leave, it should be making frantic efforts to bridge the rural-urban gap in education service provision and also learning outcomes.
So that was Kofi Asare sharing with us yesterday what he looks forward to the Education Minister nominee Haruna Idrisu doing. Bernard, we also have the voice of Angel Kabonu, NAGRAT president, and he's been also outlining what he looks forward to, especially as the minister designate's name has been mentioned. He's saying that the NDC must fulfill its promise of holding a stakeholder forum to address issues related to the free.
Some people are saying that I should also finish the list of possible candidates for minister because I'm leaving some people out.
Oh, which are the
you know, Eastern region, there's only Georgia Parado.
Yes.
Western region, we only had one. So we'll see. You finished
the Shama.
Well,
so let's hear Angel Kabonu and see what happens. Say, we shouldn't do a Didija here. You know, Didija in the issue.
As a very capable, a very competent person who can handle any ministry, including education, when he's approved by the committee.
I see. Did his nomination come to you as a surprise?
Oh, but you know, nomination for ministers. The man has been a minister before. I think he was a minister for two ministries in the erstwhile Mahama regime prior to 2016, and he handled those ministries very well. He has been a majority leader in Parliament. You know, he has been on the front bench of Parliament for a very long time. So this nomination should not come as a surprise to anybody because I think he has the competences and the capability to handle any ministry that he's been given.
The education ministry is a very vast one with many issues. What will you say should be the priority areas for this new minister? Should he be approved by Parliament to start tackling?
Well, the immediate issue of priority is the free SHS issue that is topical in the news. Something that the new government or the president has promised that they're going to have a stakeholder engagement so that we have a national consensus as the way forward. We are looking forward to that stakeholder consultation forum so as to make our contribution and contribute our quota to the discussion. So that will be immediate. But the general challenge of education in our country, we all know the issue of infrastructure, the issue of compensation, the lack of satisfaction within the sector by players in the education, and by this I mean teachers within the education fraternity, and also the dwindling fortunes of basic schools as a result of neglect over the years. These are all challenges that have been there over the years, and I hope and pray that Minister or to-be Minister Haruna will be able to surmount the strength to address some of these issues.
You talked about lack of satisfaction. Can anybody really satisfy the needs of this sector? I mean, deal with that satisfactorily. Can anybody do that, given that the needs are varied and many and always changing?
Well, to the extent that it's a human institution, all persons who have been given the opportunity to serve will serve to see whether they can reduce the expectations of those who function in the area. The problem is that over the years, we've treated teachers as a second stage group of workers where the attention that should go to the teachers in education have not been given. We have not concentrated on professionalism. We've not concentrated on competence. It is like, send the teacher there to just go and shepherd the students. That is how we treated teachers all over the years. The infrastructure that is supposed to go to education to aid in the transmission of worthwhile knowledge is also lacking. So it's a very and no society can also progress without concentration on education. It's a very vast area. It is vast because all Ghanaian children are supposed to benefit from it. So we have a vast area of children, vast number of children, and also you need a lot of teachers to be able to superintend over them. And it is also widespread in every part of our country. So that is why it looks as if every day it has unending challenges and problems.
I see. Any ideas to make him an efficient or effective minister for the sector? I mean,
So, Samez, welcome, and Bernard. So that was Nagrat speaking on what the expectations are. They feel that teachers have been sidelined over the period, so they want their concerns mainstreamed and all of that. Samez, your quick thoughts on this one, very quick.
But I think the first question is surprised at Haruna's name. Are you? He's been employment, he's been communication, and he's been trade under two previous NDC governments. So,
surprised within the context of we didn't see that coming. Yeah, that's correct. But there's no surprise in terms of competence.
Of course.
I'm not one that believes that you need to have education background
to run the ministry,
to superintend over the Ministry of Education. And in terms of profiling, you look at Haruna's personality and you situate it within the Education Ministry. I think that he can tick most of the boxes. And so surprised, yes, we didn't see that coming. But before we all did not see Education Ministry as one of the high profile ministries, if you like,
generally.
Yes, until Free SHS entered, and I'm talking about it with respect to budgets.
Yes, because it became the big budget consumer
majorly. Yes, and so it also signals the way the president sees the task ahead. That you don't put an amateur there, you don't put a novice there, you don't do matrai makwe.
It's a complex situation.
It's a complex situation. You need somebody with a wide space of experience. And so Haruna, for me, it is.
It makes a cut.
Yes. So the issues that Angel talks about, I think 90% of them are administrative issues.
Teaching.
Which means that if the structures of the Education Ministry and the Ghana Education Service are strengthened and resourced well enough, I think it will take care of itself.
So you think there should be more concern about strategic long-term issues,
exactly,
viability of Free SHS,
those
type of things. More like that's what Kofi Asare was.
Yes, not to disregard the concept, but what I'm saying is that it doesn't take the minister necessarily, but if the minister comes out to fix the structural problems of Ghana Education Service, the resource constraints, the appropriation of resources, all these things that
will have a domino effect.
Exactly,
on the things.
Straight up.
I just wanted, did any of the names surprise you, or which one were you pleasantly surprised? So if you have Ahmed Ibrahim Bono, you have Agboja for roads, Jifa for tourism. I know you like tourism as a sector. Emilia
and I like Jifa.
Yes, I know you did tourism. So I'll let you talk about that. Emilia Arthur, you know very well for fisheries. Ejari for trade. Pablo for youth. Cassiel for finance. We've discussed already. Namomo for gender. Ayine for AG. Opoku for agric, and then Jinapo for energy. Which of them do you think? This is interesting. What's going on here? Wow. Anyone that generated anything in either of you?
I think this is on hindsight, so you try and put it in context, and it kind of makes sense. I can't say for all of them because I don't know all of them. Emilia was my schoolmate. We went to Laboni Secondary School together. Went to KNUST.
Walk bear like bear.
Yeah, we went to KNUST together.
No, this is a Gen X.
We were both in Queen's Hall.
Oh, really?
Wow. So
Emilia,
I do
Western region.
Quite.
So
well.
she's solid.
You know, Emilia is she gets work done.
That's what you mean.
You know,
she will do the work.
Yes, so that's why I'm saying that it doesn't really matter where you
what you give her. She'll do it.
She's that kind of
She'll
person.
do the
She
work.
gets the deliverables.
She'll get it done even to your annoyance.
Emilia.
Oh no, Emilia will just do what she has to do.
She'll hold on to
and
it
I'm
and
sure
do it.
those of you who know her and have worked with her. I mean, I haven't worked with her. This is what
She'll get it done even if it means annoying you. She'll get it done.
Yes, that's Emilia for you.
So she'll call and say, Bernard, the fish, we have to discuss it today. You have to give us a conversation, talk about that. I know what you're saying. You are right. So when she holds on to something, she makes it the law.
Oh yeah.
Into Odibe house.
Yeah.
So today, the fish there will have trouble. So Kaziel, you know, because you are from his constituency.
I know Kaziel,
and you were expecting him to.
Oh, definitely.
Is it a good pick?
Kaziel is an appropriate pick.
Appropriate.
Let me say appropriate. You know, no. You see, I say, but you see, it's not all. No, it's not like all we
people
see.
The central people came.
No, because you know what at times I pity him, to be honest.
You know, easier.
At times I pity Kaziel
because the work is a lot.
Not the work he will do. He will do the work, but Charlie, the politics of
the
it,
thing,
the pressure. Because Charlie, the man, the man at times he has to leave the constituency at dawn.
Wow.
Because Charlie,
expectations.
Everybody wants something from him. You know, Charlie, why do we do our politics like that?
No, but it's an important point you are making. You know, we put to, you see, we come on air and say people should walk the straight and narrow path.
Yeah.
And then in the night we call the guy and say, oh, Kaziel, I have something, can you do this for me? You see, once you start doing that, you put pressure on the people. So in the same way we clamor for them to not be corrupt, we must also
give them the space
to breathe. You know, I also say that he's an appropriate pick for other reasons. You know, during the campaign, Kaziel, I'll say he's one of the member of parliament, the candidates who spent, if I can boldly say, the least time on his constituency itself.
While he was campaigning elsewhere,
he's
helping other people.
A lot of time helping other people in the central region, and I know that as
which means that he was secure already.
But not that he ignored his place.
He's a big man.
Things that he had a lot of things set up for him.
Right.
So he was rather helping other MPs.
So he does the touch and go, and then he's in another constituency. He's helping this person, and you know. So I say appropriate because it's also widely representative of the central region.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Before it didn't used to be like this. If you come from where we call the bush fancies,
you are not accepted by
you are not necessarily validated by the coastal fancies.
Bush fancies.
Yeah, as in those who the farming communities on the right side of the Accra Cape Coast Road.
Right.
Do you understand?
Right.
Edumazi is a typical example. Edumazi was regional minister who was never accepted by.
Is he also from your place?
He is from Ejumaku.
Oh,
in fact, the turn between MPP and NDC in the Ejumaku Enyan ACM place actually occurred during Ejumazi because he annoyed everybody so badly that people just switched. I'm telling you.
So your point is that Kaziel is now one of the people from that side who now is widely seen across the region as our man. So whether you are from Fantiman,
you know that,
or you are from Ekumpi or wherever,
you know that he went to, of course, Bremen Skuma Secondary School,
which is in the region as well,
which is there, which borders the Brakwa Odomi Brakwa.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
So he's also influential there.
That area.
It also borders Ekumfi. So he's also influential there.
So he grew up in that area. So
yes, of course.
Okay.
And then he borders Mankesim.
Yeah, right.
So, and then he borders the Achiasi area. You see, so
it's a lot of
interconnected.
What about so Kaziel is a great people. What about Jifa? Because you are very interested in tourism. Yeah. I was saying on television that I think the previous government, I think the GTA did a lot of work. The Ministry of Tourism, at least one of the visible achievements of that government was how they organized the Year of Return and Beyond the Return. What kind of person is Jifa to take it up? She was a deputy there. and it's not surprising that she's been given the job.
Yeah.
Will we see continuity of some of the good things? Because I think that
the tourism ministry did pretty
stuff.
good. Yeah.
I think Jifar is she. I think that she'll take it up from wherever they ended.
Okay.
And it would have been such an anticlimax if Jifar were not given that role.
Okay.
And because she comes with the real performing arts
industry experience
background, it's her first and second degree.
So this is her field.
It's her real field.
Okay.
But she had to veer into politics to be able to exact this her desire to bring change to her field. You understand? And I think that
so the foray into the politics itself is to bring the change that she's always wanted.
It. And even while in opposition, she expressed strong views about the creative arts and performing arts industry.
You think it's a nice fit?
And she has a broad acceptance
as a choice. We still and again, maybe with the benefit of her experience as a deputy minister, she will be conversant with the way things are done in the ministry setup.
Wonderful.
You understand? So, but the stage is set for her and whichever team she chooses to move it to
the next level. Let me talk about the roads. Roads is a big sector, and we always discuss roads on this program. It's probably one of the top 3 things we discuss. The person who's been put there is the former ranking member on roads, who's now the what do you call it? They call him the chief whip, Govin Saboja. I'm told he went to KNUST.
Yeah, he did architecture.
What I wanted you to do for me was, where do architects sit in the built environment? Do they get the whole picture? Because the built environment has many things. They have the engineers, they have the quantity people, then you have the architects, and then you also have the project management people, contractors, and the rest of it. So are architects well placed to know how built environment really functions? If because I have not worked with them in that.
Well, I think you say that they have, by training, an appreciable level of appreciation across the built environment.
Okay.
But it will also depend on the level or the pathway of your practice after leaving school.
Okay.
So some architects become contractors. Some remain just architects.
Okay.
Some just go into different areas. So depending on your pathway after leaving school, then it will expose.
But they will definitely, if they even did architecture, would work with engineers, would work with
definitely. And while you are doing your training, they have some common courses with civil engineering people, common courses with building technology people, that's now construction management people. So they have common courses. So they have, as I said, some appreciable level of knowledge in these things. But for somebody like Agoja, who has taken pains, and he's done other courses, because he's been locked into the space for the last, say, 10, 15 years.
So he's been on the roads committee for a long time, and he's also, I'm telling you, he went to tech in the 95. I think you had left.
Abuja came to tech after that.
You left, so about 95.
I think 96.
95, yes, 95, 96. Which was so it's an interesting pick.
Bernard, on the lands though, I just wanted to bring in what the industry people have been sharing
on roads.
Yes, on roads.
Yes, let's hear what they're saying.
So Emmanuel Cherry has been speaking on the roads ministry and what he expects of the minister designate should he take over. Some of the teething challenges that he believes should be on the in tray of the incoming minister for roads and highways.
All right.
Yeah.
Gentleman has been very useful to the industry in his capacity as a ranking member on the committee of roads and highways and transport. He played a very important integral role, and then we work closely with him, so we know his capability and we know what exactly he's bringing to the table. If only power does not eat into his hands.
I see. What exactly is he bringing to the table?
This is somebody who help us advocate for a number of issues as long as the road sector so much concerned. And then he is very well aware of the challenges bedeviling the entire sector. Number one is about the road fund board itself, which is not properly functional, as you and I knew in the past, that the road fund that's supposed to at least bring a check and balances into the system has not been actually up to their game. And Kwame Agboja, played a very, integral role. So anytime at all, we call upon him and his committee, with his advice as well. So he knows the challenges in there. So as he's coming with a new fresh energy, we believe strongly that he's going to tackle that and appeal to the president through the finance minister that they should uncap the road fund for the road fund to at least be a bit independent and robust to be able to at least finance its overall cost and then to live up to its functions and then the mandate.
I see. So what challenges in the sector do you want him to immediately start tackling? Of course, apart from uncapping the road fund you just spoke about.
You know, we have this PPP policy, which is an act that definitely he needs to quickly look into and see which are some of the major rules that possibly government will prioritize quickly to bring to the table together with the private sector participation, so that collectively we engage ourselves and see exactly what we can do as a private sector players to at least partner government in executing or prosecuting such agendas of the road infrastructure development in the country.
So, Emmanuel Cherry from the Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry speaking to Salom earlier.
But the name, the governance is what I want to understand.
The governance.
Is it?
He was born a governor.
Charlie, I've heard names, but governance, Kwame Agboja.
Governance, Kwame Agboja.
Governance.
It's a big man.
We have to ask his father where the name came from.
It's a big man. But with regards to the selection of the ministers, can we look at the competence and not just rewarding the people? You didn't add your name. Good morning, Bernard. Please, why are we giving jobs to people who already have jobs?
Well,
as MPs?
Because the constitution says
requires
half of your ministers must come from parliament.
Yeah.
So if you want to change that, change the constitutional provision. That's why the president has to look in parliament first. Ours is a hybrid system.
Yeah.
Okay, more comments?
Good. I'm also from Ejumako, Bisiase to be precise. I remember my granny used to mention him a lot about a decade ago. Every day, Bia Atu Forsen. So I'm happy for him. However, like Samen said, the politics of the position is the biggest hurdle for him.
Samen is weird. Ejumako Bisiase. I thought Ejumako is just one. Or there are different Ejumakos.
Oh no.
There's Ejumako what?
Oh, plenty.
Ejumako plenty.
So these are like the sub-district of Ejumako.
No, there are different towns under the Ejumako.
So the Ejumako that has the university, is Ejumako what?
That's the Ejumako town proper.
Then
you have Ejumako Bisadze. Then you have Ejumako. There are plenty.
Oh, okay.
Plenty.
So he's from Ejumako Bisiase.
Yes.
So the constituency is called Ejumako Enyan.
Esiam.
So there's Enyan Denchira. So Enyan to us is relative.
We have Enyan Denchira. This is where I am from.
Okay.
Or my father is from.
Yeah.
We have Enyana Basa. Plenty.
So the Enyan too, they have their own.
They have their own.
So there's Ejumako, Enyan, and the third one is what?
Esiam.
Esiam to us is relatives.
Esiam is one big place.
Okay. I thought it also had Esiam something.
But Esiam people, their language is a bit different. From.
All right.
Let's talk about food and agriculture. Eric Opoku.
Food and agriculture, is that the
yes
name?
Yeah. Food and agriculture. Ministry of Food.
What's that name?
I thought that was agribusiness.
So agribusiness has been sent to trade.
Okay.
So it's now trade, agribusiness, and industry.
Yeah.
So it's Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Eric Opoku.
Yeah. I found that curious though.
The agribusiness moving to trade.
Yeah.
I have an explanation, or I have a guess. Our major export commodities are all agricultural products. So, and if you think about trade, is as import-export. Apart from gold and metals, most of the people in the non-traditional export sector are into agribusiness.
Yeah, which is fine.
So if you want to support our trade balance, you must develop agribusiness. That's how.
I get that.
That's how
I'm
see
saying that taking it to trade is the question.
Because of the export thing.
Then let's add transport to trade, because
Why?
transport is key for trade.
No, but transport is a sector on its own. We are talking about export development,
which is fair.
Export development of agribusiness.
Very well said.
Yeah.
But I'm only saying that I found it curious
that agribusiness is added to trade
instead of pushing it and making it. Somebody woke up one day and took cocoa
from finance to
from agri. They took it from agri to finance,
and they brought it back to probably go back to finance. Actually, that's a good question. I actually think the first question Eric Opoku should answer in the vetting is on cocoa sector and whether he thinks agri should keep it, because NDC had it under finance, and then Dr. Free, being a cocoa farmer, said he believes that our problem is a production problem. So let's come back to agri.
Yeah.
And he's kept it there for 8 years.
And Opoku has been very vocal on cocoa issues.
So will he keep it there, or will he say he should go back to finance?
Yeah.
That's a very important question, because Eric Opoku positions himself as a cocoa
guy,
farmer.
actually.
So they'll probably say let's maintain it. It's going to be
but
interesting.
in the first place, why would anybody take cocoa to finance?
Because the biggest issue, your father is a cocoa clerk. The biggest issue in cocoa is finding money to pay the farmers ahead of the harvest. So the cocoa syndicated loan.
Thank God. That's one problem.
Yes.
But as we sit now, the biggest problem with cocoa is an agricultural science problem.
True.
So it needs to be back to agri.
Well, not necessarily. I'm just saying that
for now,
we don't have to be shifting.
Right.
Let's deal with the problem.
Papa, do you know that energy is now finance?
No, even construction is finance.
So I'm coming. So you didn't understand why cocoa affairs was taken to finance?
Okay, I mean, I can follow through why they would do that. All I'm saying is that you don't necessarily have to shift it in order to resolve the challenge.
You know why? All your strong people in agri ministry are people who have been trained in agriculture production and value chain. Your people in finance are typically people who understand how to raise money. And because the syndicated loan became such a big bottleneck in the cocoa sector, the finance ministry was better positioned to manage it.
Not necessarily. The finance ministry is supposed to be a service provider to the cocoa industry. That's how I look at it. Same as they provide services to other.
So you didn't think it should have gone?
I'm just saying that we would have saved ourselves a bit more if we resolve the problem.
So
instead of shifting,
based on what you are saying, I think this minister will recommend that it remains at agri. I think he will, based on what you are saying.
The problem now is an agri science problem.
So he cannot, because he's advocated on cocoa. He's been made minister of agri. He can't then say agri should go back to cocoa. Should go back to finance.
Guess what?
He will take over.
Let's assume that we've resolved the finance bit of it.
Does it need to move?
No, and yet we don't even have the cocoa now
to sell. You are right.
And so, the biggest challenge with this cocoa thing, the cocoa people, they thrive on forward selling.
True.
So now that cocoa prices at the global level have gone up, we are not benefiting.
Because we don't have the product.
No, we have sold the thing already.
At a lower price.
At a lower price.
We've done that. Today is Grandma Flo's birthday, Bernard.
Hey!
Yes.
Oh, but why were you hiding this?
Yes.
Was it Flesh and Butter revealed this to you?
Today is Grandma Flo's birthday.
So let's read a few more birthday requests as we wrap up. So Grandma Flo is Samense's mother.
Yeah.
And today is her birthday, so we are joining the angels and all the people to say happy birthday to her.
Yeah, man.
My mother's birthday, you don't allow me to do that.
No, we've taken over. We have taken over. But why? Are you the only person who is? Oh, yeah, mother. So happy birthday to her. But you, what's her full name?
My mother's name.
Yes, full name.
Oh, she's Florence. Ayikale. Enyan.
Oh, she's also Enyan.
Yes.
Florence Ayikale Enyan.
Yes.
I almost said.
And you are from Enyan Dentra.
Well, my father is from Enyan Dentra.
And your mother is called Enyan.
Yes.
The connection.
You are suspect.
My mother is Ganfanti. So
happy birthday to you, Mama Flo. God bless you. God strengthen you. More food for us. We have to celebrate and dirty ourselves.
Charlie Bilmo radio of your jugba. Charlie, they listen with just the grain from.
No, it listen like that. Mama Flo, happy birthday to you.
Wow.
God bless you so much and give you strength, Charlie. When you go to London, she does Banku for you.
Thank you.
Charlie, Banku ya London. Allah. Happy birthday to you, Mama Flo.
Charlie, you make a miss Komladu.
I tell you, Charlie, you go fit pass your house for some side, then Charlie go organize okro soup. Say, hey, Yabi, say ole. Happy birthday to Michael Eden Makafia, Vice President and External Affairs, Goldfields Ghana, and President of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, from wife Cynthia and family. And then let me do this one that the team from Ernest Deloitte sent to me.
Yeah.
Let me do that quickly. Oh, where is this guy's message? I can't find it. Charles Nixon, your boy. Charlie, the message disappeared from my phone top.
Oh, it's here. Edith Nate and Prince Osei of the Audit Department at Deloitte.
Wonderful.
They say from your country managing partner Daniel Kwejo Owusu and all the staff, they're wishing you a happy birthday. Okay. And today is Jimmy's daughter's birthday.
Jimmy Quist.
Yes, sir. His daughter is Lady Valerie Dosia Quist.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. So happy birthday. She turns 8 today.
All right.
We'll take a very quick break. When we are back, we have more for you.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Are you looking for an institution of higher learning to unlock your potentials? Look no further than Valley View University, Ghana's premier chartered private university. Valley View University offers undergraduate and postgraduate degree programs in business administration, education, computer science, agriculture science, agribusiness, information technology, nursing and midwifery, development studies. Join a community that shapes character and provides excellent education. Apply now, www.admissions.vvu.edu.gh. For enquiries, call 050-970-3052 or 030-7011-846. Valley View University, excellence, integrity, and service.
When you hear that sound, it can only mean one thing. It's the sound of excitement, the sound of milky goodness. It's the unmistakable sound of rich, creamy deliciousness. The sound that lets you know that the original milky richness awaits. The milky richness you can find in every bite of Munchie Milk Shortcake.
With its unique blend of milky richness and carefully selected ingredients, Munchie Shortcake is crafted from an original age-old recipe to delight your taste buds. If you're looking for pure satisfaction and the authentic taste of original milky richness, it's time to grab a pack of your favorite biscuit, Munchie Milk Shortcake, today.
This advert is FDA approved.
Ghana Post.
Ghana Post.
The most affordable delivery option for food and merchandise from Ghana to everywhere in the world. Connect with us today and see for yourself. Ghana Post. Smart, secure deliveries.
Package, no. In less than 5 days, Ghana Post, they make life they be. Ghana Post will deliver to you wherever you are in the world.
Are you hoping to start university this January? If you want a British degree from a world-class university at a fraction of the cost, then join Lancaster University Ghana in Accra. With a diverse student community, vibrant campus life, and up to 50% scholarship to support your study, Lancaster University Ghana provides you with a world-class education that creates endless possibilities globally. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Apply to join Lancaster University Ghana, where learners become leaders. Admissions are currently open for our January 2025 intake. Apply now for our foundation program. For more information, contact us at +233 030 221 8989 or send an email to admissions@lancaster.edu.gh. Lancaster University Ghana, the only British university campus in West Africa.
Join the fun and excitement of an 8-day trip through 14 regions around Ghana. That's the Heritage Caravan 2025.
The places we visited, the road trip itself was awesome.
Everything was good, yes. Even the Bui
dam was very educational.
If you're a lover of nature, adventure, road trips, or you just want to get away for a few days, then Heritage Caravan is the perfect experience for you.
It gave us an opportunity to see Ghana in a more beautiful way. It's my first time visiting most of the attractive sites that we went to, and it was amazing. And the people, the connection.
A week of an immersive Ghanaian experience, be it food, music, nature, culture, or history, the Heritage Caravan has it all. And you'll definitely have a blast when it comes to the Jama on the bus, the networking, and the bonding. Heritage Caravan 2025 is from the 2nd to the 9th of March 2025. Call 0205-973-973 now to secure your seat on the caravan.
It was an out of this world experience. I want to register before I leave here this evening, and I'll make an advance payment immediately. I don't want to miss out. You have to experience this. You have to experience this.
The Heritage Caravan 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.3 Citi FM.
Protect yourself from germs and bacteria with confidence. Cleanse hand soap effectively kills 99.9% of germs with every use. Perfect for all your hand washing moments throughout the day. Available in a variety of variants and delightful flavors. Choose Cleanse for yourself, your family, and friends. Make Cleanse your daily essential. The GC brand. It's all about you. This advert is FDA approved.
Central University, Ghana's premier private university, invites applications for admissions for the 2024-2025 academic year. Apply now to enjoy our flexible payment terms. We also have exclusive discounts for all alumni, ICGC members, ICGC pastors, and their children. Call us on 0307-020-540 or visit www.central.edu.gh for further details. Central University, raising transformational leaders through faith, integrity, and excellence.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
(9:33), 97.3 Citi FM. Still on the agri sector, and we'll be bringing you some conversations. Peasant farmers have been speaking. They have their interests that they are also pushing. So we'll be everybody make aggressive. So we'll tell you what peasant farmers are also saying. In the meantime, snack time just got a whole lot better with Munchie Milk Shortcake. With its unique blend of milky richness and carefully selected ingredients, Munchie Milk Shortcake is crafted to delight your taste buds. So if you're looking for pure satisfaction and authentic taste of original milky richness, grab a pack of CBL Munchie Milk Shortcake, Ghana's favorite biscuit brand, and indulge in the milky goodness today. There is exciting news for all University of Ghana students. Prudential Bank makes fee payments easy. University of Ghana students can conveniently pay fees by dialing UGUSSD short code *772 *100# or via the UG online payment portal. African students can also make payments seamlessly with the Pan-African Payment and Settlement Systems (PAPS). Alternatively, visit any Prudential Bank branch nationwide to pay your fees. Open an account at Prudential Bank today and receive a free MasterCard. T's and C's apply. Please, for more information, call 0551 858585 or 0302 750 420. Visit www.prudentialbank.com.gh. Prudential Bank, truly dependable. Diamond Cement says we have the very best 42.5 hour grade cement, highest quality on the market. We have the 32.5 hour grade now. Good quality for everyone's pocket. So always choose number one cement brand on the market when you have to build. Locate us around the nation. We are everywhere, but our factories are in Aplao, Takrady, and Buepe. Our number is 0244 313 368 0540 111 978 0202 021 175. Diamond Cement is still as hard as a diamond. We announced, sometimes yesterday we announced the numbers people should call, to, pay, register and make payment for the Heritage Caravan. But I still had a lot of people call me, send me messages to say, get up, what's going to happen, how much is it costing? Just call the number, and people were calling. I'm sure by close of today, all the buses will be full.
Truth is, you're right. As at 6 p.m. yesterday, 2 buses were full.
2 buses?
Yeah.
Wow. All patrons?
I'm talking about paid.
My God.
2 buses full, and we have 1 bus left.
My God.
Yeah. So
quarter by 12 today, dear. If you have not paid,
I would imagine
you have to watch on TV.
I would imagine. We had 2 buses full yesterday by 6 p.m.
Wow. Huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
But 2 buses, so by 6 p.m. same day we announced the numbers.
So is there still space for people to come and pay?
No, we had 2 buses full.
Mm-hmm. So every one.
Technically, this is a half
6
bus.
p.m.
Yeah.
yesterday. I don't know about now. I haven't checked, but
wow.
I don't think that there will be any space by Monday.
Wow.
So
and I'm talking about paid up.
So if you want to pay, come today.
Yeah.
Well, today, today we still have called the number 0205 973 973.
All right.
And then they will show you how to pay.
So I was thinking about something. So we're talking about Greek Minister Eric Opoku and his job. I'm a bit torn with the regional balance issue. You see, because our constitution has asked us to do a lot of things, which sometimes it solves different problems.
Yeah.
Okay. So, for example, constitution says pick half of your ministers from parliament. Some people think that when you do that, the MP who have become ministers may not focus on legislation.
Yeah.
Okay, but of course they have 276 MPs, so they feel like some people see parliament as a stepping stone to executive. Instead of having career legislators, it affects parliament. So that's one. Now the regional balance thing too is good to keep the national cohesion. But sometimes you had 10 regions in Ghana, and you're already struggling to do regional balance. Now you have 16. Now what makes it interesting is that with no offense to Northeast as a problem. So let's say you have 3 constituencies in Northeast, which NDC has MPs. Okay.
Yeah.
Yet you have, say, Western region, 15 out of 17 are all NDC.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Upper East gives you 17 out of 17, or if not more, or 15 or so. Okay. So what does regional balance mean? Does it mean that each region should be treated equally, or each region should be treated on the basis of its weight? Do you get it? Because are you weighting the regions, or are you just...
There must be a representation.
Because I mean, think about it. If MPP is in power, most of there are 47 MPs seats. About 39, 40, 41 are all MPs in Ashanti.
Yeah.
So the regional balance means that you give equal treatment. Maybe they didn't have anybody in Volta at the time. Okay. Versus now NDC has OT and Volta all
gone.
And then Ashanti they have 7.
Yeah.
So if you are going to pick one person from Ashanti and pick one from, say, OT, is it balanced? So do you understand me? So we have to think about balance. What does it mean?
They are not weighted. Like
shouldn't wait.
It's no. That will bring. It will expose us to another challenge. It's just making sure that there's inclusiveness within the entire geographical footprint of the country.
Right.
That let every space, geographical space, ethnic space, feel that they are involved in what is going on.
So must it be a region or an area? Because now even traditional leaders are even saying
no.
They are areas.
I think that we see ourselves first in terms of ethnicity,
regions,
and ethnicity first. And then regions. I mean, the regions are just a creation of somebody, for administrative convenience. So first of all, we see, for instance, we don't normally, and I say normally, say that this person, this minister is from Jelukope. We say that he's an Ewe,
Yes.
or he's from the Volta
Region.
side. Is that
That's
correct?
generally how we see it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But may not necessarily have come from, say, the coastal side,
Yeah, right.
or
It could be Guan.
Exactly, it could be Guan. So what we now want to say is that, okay, make sure that every administrative region
has a representation.
So it's easier that way, because if you
I
go
think
into
so.
if you go into the ethnicity, you go chop hot.
Exactly.
Because, for example, let me give you an example. If you go to Northeast region, there are 2 or 3 main ethnic groups. There's Mamprusi, there's Bimoba.
Exactly.
Now, if you say region, you can pick somebody from the region
And that
be
satisfies
okay.
it.
But if you start going into
That's difficult.
you will be hot.
That's
with that.
difficult.
Although the politicians do that for MP. So what they do with the MP is that if the constituency has 2 or 3 groups, the party may pick somebody from a group that has the numbers.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that calculation, all of them do it.
Yeah.
All right. But for minister, it will be almost impossible. So let me give you another example. So for a long time, Eastern region did not, and Eastern region has many groups. So there's the Kweus, there's the Achims, there's the Ekwapims, there's the Krobos. If you are picking a regional minister, you cannot satisfy all the groups.
Yeah.
You always have to pick one, and you get it. And it's always been an issue, because if you are not careful, one group will say, even though the person is from our region, we don't get some.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, look, whatever it is, is I think how the leader, the reality that is exposed to the leader is what determines the choices, because you are making choices to solve what you perceive as a problem.
Yeah.
You get me? Look at Greater Accra, for instance. I mean, you talked about the surprise
of
or the choices.
Yeah.
I would, Linda Oklu, for me,
It's a surprise.
was a surprising choice. But of course, the president knows what problem he wants to solve with that. But I, from where I sit, which is very far from political leadership, I see the Greater Accra construct as one region, and I'm talking about the Ga people, one region which is heterogeneous in nature, as opposed to, say, Ashanti, which is homogeneous. You know, and this is because of the independence of the various
clans,
you can call them. So you go to Teshi, the chief of Teshi does not report to the chief of Nungwa. The chief of Nungwa does not report to the Gamanche. Everybody, Osu, and everybody. So I was thinking that you would, and that's not to suggest anything.
Maybe he was trying to avoid.
No, that's what I'm saying, that he's figured out the problem that he wants to solve. So, for instance, in my if like uninformed thinking, the name that pops up to me is Okovandapoy.
Right.
As somebody who may have the
who's
stature,
like the poster child of the whole,
the stature for the region, because he was also mayor. Then
you know,
you have a
but I'm just saying that as an uninformed, so please don't come and say that I don't like Linda. Linda Oklu is my friend. I know her, and we like Sister Linda. So no two ways.
So you are right. You don't know what problem he's trying to solve,
exactly.
which is an interesting question. So the other point is, a lot of people will be disappointed because the man has reduced his ministers from 30 to 23. He's now going to do 60, and if you look at the size of the country, 60 is about okay. But if you look at the expectation of the political people, they will be worried. They will be saying, Charlie, after all this work, we are not getting anything. Because already,
Bernard, even if he repeated Nanado's mistake of 100 and whatever,
people will still not be happy.
People will still be disappointed. You understand? People will still be disappointed. If he even wanted to do 200 ministers, you will still have some people disappointed. But the point is that what kind of orientation is going on within the party now? That and yesterday I made this point that let's stop telling people that we are rewarding you with a position.
Right.
Because it's actually not a reward. It's not
work.
a reward.
I even think it's punishment. In some cases,
you know. So if you are able to craft the enormous nature of the responsibility, showcase it and throw it at them, people who are not chosen will not have a problem if they know what it takes to run a ministry.
I think people see the perks of the office more than the actual work that needs to be done.
But then, if you are committed to your party and you are essential to the running of the party, you will still have perks whether you are minister or not. Yeah. And we have seen this thing happen. And again, you don't have to be a minister. The appointments, they are plenty. They have the man is going to make over 3,000 appointments.
My God.
Yeah.
Hopefully he won't go.
Actually, it's a lot. If you look at board, if you look at individual boards, it's a lot. It's a lot.
You get me? Hopefully he won't go and start appointing PROs of
and then sign the letter. And say, that's so.
And the secretaries.
But something, the other thing that I found very interesting was that the names that have come up, a lot of them were dropped by the minority leader last week. Yeah, and I thought it was interesting. So he said, when the president gave the first three, the first three, and then he said that the list is coming tot. Then he said, you, Erikoboku, you are going to Agreg. What do you call it? Agboja. You are going to roads. Ahmed Ibrahim, you are going to local government.
Lands, you mentioned lands. That's yet to come, but
I thought I was serious.
Very.
So the question is, how does the minority leader know who the ministers are? And they say you are suffering. You are in government. You don't know, but we know. They say you are suffering. You see, you are afraid. They say Kofi Boy, don't be afraid. If it's yours, it's yours.
You get it.
You know. Now they are calling me. Now he's begging me. So my question is, how does a minority leader know these things?
Remember Sky?
And the government, the prospective ministers either don't know or they are not sure.
Yeah. No, remember Sky had mentioned that usually when you are making such appointments, you want to see who can work with all the interest groups as much as possible. And
who will not give you problems.
Exactly. And the minority is a key group in parliament that you don't want to obstruct a lot of the
work. You want to check with them.
You want to check with them. So it's very likely that in their consultations, then they got to know before the rest of us.
Charlie, the way the guy dropped the names, it was serious.
It was so on point for many of the. I think education is what has
achieved his aim.
Yeah.
But he didn't mention education.
He didn't
mention, he was just actually teasing his colleagues on the other side, and they were mostly leadership.
Yeah.
And he mentioned where they were going. Okay. So it means that Kofi Boy is going to land.
Lands
if nothing changes.
Charlie, because if you talk plenty, they will change up.
Charlie, quick. If they mention your own and they change it. Quick. Now some people say I should finish what I started because it's not fair that I mentioned some regions and prospective names and I left some out.
People make agree.
So for the avoidance of bias, I'm just going to go through the rest of the regions. So for example, the Eastern region has had only one name. That's George Opariado.
Yeah.
So they are asking me to go through the prospective names in Eastern region as MPs. So let me just do it so that
George too comes from
Okre,
the Ekwapim side.
Yes. So George is Okre.
Yeah.
And then he was Ekwapim North, which is the next north to Okre is next to Ekwapim North. Yes. After Alaki.
Yes, that's where he was
MC.
MC.
He actually ran MP twice there.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that he comes from the general Ekwapim area.
Okay. Yeah. So here are the names. So you have NDC MP for Apramplim South, Joseph Apia Boateng. Then you have Upper Manya Krobo is Bismarck Tete Nyaku. A Sojaman is Thomas Ampem Nyaku. Nyakote Tete is Yilo Krobo. And then where's Manya Krobo? Give me a second. Upper Manya is Ebenezer Oklete Telabi. We know him. Surprising one was Lawrence Ajiwanu for Ekwapim South. And then we have Upper West Akim, Emmanuel Dra. And then Lower West Akim, we have Owen Kwame Frimpong. So those are the names for the Eastern region. Let me do Upper East. Upper East has 15 members of parliament, and one has been made a minister so far in the person of the Attorney General designate. But there are a lot of quality names in the region. So you have, for example, Chiana Paga, he's called Alamzi Bila Nchema. And then you have Clement Apak for Busa South. In fact, the minority that said Apak will go to education as deputy. But I'm not sure at the time Haruna was the one going there. So we don't know where Apak is hanging now. Busan North is James Agalga. He's been on the Interior Committee security issue.
Yeah.
Simon Aworigo is the MP for Navrongo Central. And then you have Bogatanga Central is Isaac Adongo. Is also there. And then Bongo, you have Charles Bawadua. If I get the name wrong, forgive me. And then Nabdam, you have Dr. Market Nawani for Nabdam. And then Talensi, you have Daniel Dung Mahama. Then you have Zebila Ebenezer Alumbre Ndebila. And then Binduri, you have Mohammed Isifu. Mahama Yargas Boku Central, we are told he'll be the majority leader. And then Ladi Ayamba is Pusiga. And then Timpene is Lydia Lamisi Akamvariba. And then Garu is Anaba Thomas. Charlie, the name's plenty.
Thomas Winsum.
Thomas Anaba.
Yeah.
Which other place have I not done? So there's so many names.
Yeah.
I don't know how they are going to select these people, but good luck to everybody. Good luck to all of them. Greater Accra also has a lot of NDC MPs. And so far, it's only now Momo who has been mentioned as Minister for
Gender.
Now, I think Greater Accra is going to be very interesting, Simon, because Greater Accra is one of the regions where you have a non-indigenous Ga who are a lot of them as MPs. You get what I'm saying? So Greater Accra, if you're a Greater Accra MP, for example, in the first NDC era, Amadou Sogo was NDC MP for Madina. He was never a minister. He was always working in parliament. So there are so many MPs, because usually when you are sharing this, when you talk of the region, you also want to look at the traditional leaders, right? So if you talk of Greater Accra region, you need to look at the coastal people. If I'm wrong, you can correct me.
Very much so.
So if you want to give a minister, so fine, we have the Ada, Sege, Dingo Pram Enclave, who are Dangbis. But if you look at the Gang, okay, there are quite a lot. So La is there, Adofole, you have Teshi, which is Lejokuku, Ayiku is there, and then you have Ablekuma South, who is the former mayor Chenche, is there. Ododiodio has a new guy. Now even Ablekuma West has Reverend Kweku Ado taking over. You have Zaneto for this constituency that we are sitting in at right now. So it's going to be a serious headache for him. Then Botiano has Felix Akwete Oakley. So expect something from the coastal side.
Zaneto is definitely going up there.
Going somewhere. And then Chenche too is an experienced hand there. Then you have Nungwa has been given the gender ministry. Bala, former MC, is called Odofole something. I think that's the name. All right. And then you have Samuel George. Samuel George is also there. So
I mean, Samuel George is coming up in the next list,
definitely.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. There's Katamanso, there's Adenta, Charlie, the man, his hair will grow white. Charlie, everywhere names there.
A lot of work.
And the Western region too, plenty.
And again,
Bono
the ministries that are still up.
Yeah, so
we have Ministry of
maybe
Health.
let's do the appointment before we go.
we shall look at them.
Let's do the appointment.
Okay, there's Ministry of Health.
Ministry of Health.
Yes.
So this is how I see. Upper West region doesn't have a minister yet.
Okay.
And I think it's between 2 or 3 people. Titus Bayu is Upper West regional. He's MP for one of the places Upper West. Grace Ayesu Dankwa is Western region. She's new, but because you have fisheries and Kofi Boa coming, she may struggle. Then you also have Akando, who's the ranking member on the thing. Western North doesn't have a minister yet. So I think either somebody from Upper West, Titus Bayu, or Akando for Western North. If Boa is going to get lands, it will be a bit tough to think that you give both fisheries, lands, and health to Western region.
That's
you get it? So from the way I see it, it's between
this is very tight.
I tell you.
Or if you want to even say look, Omani Boama is a doctor. He's never been Minister of Health. Eastern region has only Georgia Parado. You can say, look, Omani Boama, go and solve the health problem. So I think if you want an experienced hand, it may be Omani Boama.
But I get feel out.
You get my point? So that's health. Now, if you ask me,
what about deputy?
No, let's just do this.
Okay, fine.
No.
I'm asking what about deputy?
No, I don't have the information on deputy.
Let's do no problem. So there is interior.
Interior is very tricky because you see, if you have Prosper Bani was the former who's now been made an advisor.
Yes.
So the way has been clear.
Yeah.
Now, I think if you look at the spread, again, what regions are left? Ashanti. They don't have a substantive. Now, there was a former deputy defense minister who's from Ashanti region. Okay, Fred can give me the name. I think in balancing things out, you have to think about that. There's also Peter Tobu, who is a policeman who's now MP for Wa West, who's been speaking on the Interior Committee a lot. There's James Agalga, who's been speaking on the Interior Committee a lot, who's a former deputy minister. But Agalga is from Upper East. You already have Attorney General from Upper East. So are you going to make your Interior Minister from Upper East, or are you going to go to Upper West? Do you get my point?
Yeah.
So Interior, I think somebody from Upper West could get it. I don't know about Ntoso, but she is the most significant name I see in OT, but I don't think she has a security background.
Yeah.
Okay. You could also decide that for whatever reason, you see, there are some people who are like utility players. Someone like Omani Boama can do anything. He was your communication minister.
Yeah.
You can make him an interior minister.
I think this time Omani will attempt the health.
You think so? Yeah, because I think that if you look at it, health is where he was environment minister deputy, and his communication minister. He's done it for 4 years. So I think you may want to consider him.
But there is foreign affairs.
The MP is Rita Soa.
Rita Soa, former MC.
Yeah, Odole.
So as for the Great Accra, there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Okay, now where else are you mentioning?
Foreign affairs. That place.
For me, I don't know. You know, if you look at the stature of foreign ministers,
yes.
So under NDC in the past and under MPP, it's a diplomatic position.
Yeah.
So you had Hannah Tete handing over to the current head of Commonwealth now.
Shelley
Akobochi. Okay. It's a very conservative sector. So you don't pick mavericks. You pick institutional people. Because these are going to deal with other countries. I'll give you an example. Even this week, Malian president came.
Yes.
Who was there? Marietta Vlolate.
Yeah.
Okay. You need people of a certain
stature,
demeanor, and stature, because they'll be representing you in many meetings. So I won't hazard a guess.
Okay.
Because for that one, it doesn't even have to be an MP.
Okay.
Because in fact, it's a disadvantage if they are MP. So that one could be completely unknown to us, because if you pick an MP, you are basically immobilizing them on their seat.
Yeah.
But there is works and housing, water resources.
I think there are two people, in my view. If you can correct me, I think it's between the MP for Bodi, because he was a former deputy. And if you look at the way he's doing the appointment, he's using former deputies and ranking members. Or he may use Ablakwa because of all he's doing on oral.
The lands.
Ablakwa's advocacy on good governance has been about basically buildings and houses and lands. All right. So I think that Okujeto Ablakwa may be a good
candidate for
that, because I don't see how he will not be a minister.
Okay.
If you look at the stature of MPs in the NDC and what has been done, he's given 2 people from Volta already. So he's probably going to wait to appoint it later for him to finish the oral work.
Yeah.
But I'll be very surprised if he's not. And he was a deputy even under Mills.
Yeah.
But you see, he still has a large pool of very good guys. Some of them have been ministers before, like Joshua Alabi.
Yeah.
You still
There's
have
even Alex Segbefia.
You still have Sylvester Mensah.
People do. There's even Western region. There's a guy called IK Ajay Mensah, who was a former deputy for roads. He's MP for one of the Amenfi constituencies.
Okay.
I see.
So there are so many people.
Communications.
You know, I don't know what they want to do with that ministry, but they've named it
communications, digital technology, and innovations.
So it's going to so the telcos will be under them.
Yeah.
So media, technology is under them.
Yeah.
Information will not be there.
No, it will be there. It will be there.
Wow.
Information is communication. So.
Is this where Sam George could fit?
He was the ranking member on the committee on. So Samuel George was the ranking member on the telecommunications.
Yeah.
And he's been. Did he used to be a board member for?
Something. Yes.
Under
Yes.
NDC.
Yes. So Samuel George is also Charlie. I think
okay.
Yeah.
And then which one is there again? Defense.
There's defense.
Those ones are more security picks.
Yeah. There is transport.
No.
They are not security picks.
No.
You don't think so?
Dr. Adokufo security pick.
No, but security is
Mark Uyongo security pick.
What I mean is, I'm not talking about security person.
Yeah.
Security in terms of the relationship with the leader,
the boss. Of course.
This is absolute trust.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's not.
That's right.
The qualification for defense minister is I can go to sleep knowing you have my back.
Yeah. I mean, Ben Kumbo.
So it's not about qualification.
The profile.
The profile is somebody you trust with your life.
But on Helen Toso, someone says she has a security background from Kofi Annan. She's also a trained paramilitia. Also.
No, we're not talking about security.
No, you mentioned her to say that she didn't have any security background.
No, I didn't. Sorry. Oh, forgive me.
If we go by this, and backtrack to the period prior to the Nanado's appointment, Dominic Nitwo wouldn't have taken it.
True.
The only thing was that he was vocal on the Interior and Security Committee of Parliament for 8 years. And there are so many people for deputy minister that you can also think. So after deputy, we even go there today.
Bernard, we are out of time.
Ministry is left.
We are finished.
We finished.
Our time is finished.
Oh, it's
the time that has finished. So the rest they can.
The ministries are finished.
They should go and watch on YouTube.
The people will cry today.
So it's time for news. We've done 2 minutes into your time. I'm sorry, I was talking to MD and General Manager. So
we're trying to share post.
Good morning, Zoe.
Good morning. Coming up, President Mahmoud